Hello, folks. Welcome back, London, England. Gfinity Arena, Spring Masters #2. This time we're joined by a new guy. We found kind of a new guy to Counter-Strike. You're just learning CSGO. You're not really familiar with the scene. I tease. This is Karn from Fnatic.
People felt like there wasn't enough Fnatic representation on the desk. Like we needed to get a bit of bias in there. And since I'm so neutral.
Yeah, are you wearing your shirt? I meant to look today.
You're a fan of NA. He's a fan of Fnatic. I'm just neutral. I'm not a fanboy of any teams.
And if you don't know who Karn is,
it wasn't us giving him the shirt, by the way. I think he bought it at our web shop.
As he should. Don't give it to him. He can afford it.
It's okay. I bought it with skins that I got from illegal throwing.
So, if you are unfamiliar, Karn is the Chief Gaming Officer of Fnatic, but he also, in his own right, is a historic and storied 1.6 player. So he's been willing to come sit with us for the next match. So he's going to help us go through EnVyUS and Virtus.Pro.
You know why, right? Why I'm here. No. This is the only place I can feel young in this arena next to you guys.
Feel young? What, like Freud, young?
Is that how it's going to be? Really? Really, Patrick?
Psychoanalysis. You want some psychoanalysis? Lay down on this couch here and tell me about your childhood.
Just because you're replacing Richard.
Great childhood, filled with Counter-Strike.
Fair enough.
He was filled with Counter-Strike, for sure. So, what's your thoughts so far on the tournament before we get into this first matchup? How's it going for you guys? Obviously, you guys are doing okay.
I think it's been going all right. Obviously, we had an unexpected draw game against the Australian team Vox, who surprisingly also got a map against NIP, I believe. And that makes Group A extremely unpredictable right now. I think we have one game left, and we kind of, we are destined to win that, to be a contender to qualify for the playoffs for tomorrow. Whereas Group B, the one we are about to look at, I think the EnVyUS and Virtus.Pro game, has been a little bit more as expected, right? Immunity Cloud9 in the bottom. Obviously, you could have hoped a little bit of a stronger result from Cloud9. But EnVyUS has been doing what they kind of used to do, just rolling through the groups and, positioning themselves for a very solid, take on the first spot. Whereas Virtus.Pro, they're struggling, and they have to win this, I think, to even have a chance to qualify for tomorrow's. Ultimately, I mean, when you have 5 teams in every group, I think it's not necessarily the most optimal format. I think it's a little bit more open, which can be fun in some way. But yeah, we have seen a new map being introduced, which is great, Train. Probably not a map you're going to see in this matchup, though.
And let's go back a little bit and take a look at your guys' group, Group A. And again, like you said, it is really tight. Again, lots of 5s. Vox playing really, really well. You said you have one more match left, but your last match is against Liquid. So
it is.
I mean, that should be a 2-0. That should give you 3 points. But
but we're also playing against a team that doesn't necessarily have much besides kind of pride and just redeeming themselves to play for, and that can make them a bit more calm. They know now, okay, we don't have a chance to play for a playoff spot, but nevertheless, we're up against Fnatic and can kind of kick them out of the tournament. And they managed to win a map out of Na'Vi, surprisingly, as well. Even though, obviously, 2-0 is what I predict from that. But then I think it's going to be down to round difference in the end of the day. I don't know the rules exactly how they're going to work when it comes to that. If it's per map or like who you played against, or is it just overall rounds? Something you might know.
Yeah, it starts with head-to-head, pure head-to-head. And obviously, if that head-to-head is a 1-1.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a 3-way tie, though. That's when it becomes interesting.
No, there's still a lot of permutations. I mean, remember, is it Na'Vi play Vox now?
Na'Vi is playing Vox right now.
Okay, so Na'Vi can beat Vox. Then in theory, if Fnatic wins, okay, there's one team through. If NiP wins over, does NiP have any more games? Who do they play?
Yeah, NiP has.
Oh,
they play Na'Vi as well.
Okay, yeah, there's 2 more games.
Last game of the night.
I think Vox and Na'Vi plays each other right now, and I heard that Vox was 1 map up, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, could be right. Yeah. But no, the other thing you have to realize as well is not all these games necessarily have to be 2-0. Someone can take 1 map and then that immediately changes the point situation since you lose the bonus point. It's 1-1, you know? So there's still a lot of permutations, you know. It looks now like it's going to end up as a tie, but we're not certain yet.
Indeed, we're not.
And it looks like Na'Vi won that first map, 16-3 on Cobblestone. So that gives a point to Na'Vi at least. So if I look at my little sheet here, that only only gives them 2 points.
This is Vox's last game, remember there. So
yeah,
but Vox, quite happy for them. Not too happy when they beat us, of course.
Sure.
But quite amazed, to be very honest. Like obviously traveling from so far away, and with that, coming from a region where you don't have too many tier 1, tier 2 teams. It depends how you define it, obviously, but they really struggle practice-wise compared to the Western teams. That could as well give them a little bit of an edge. They can study the teams more, and they can come in with some new, fresh stuff. But historically, they haven't done too much damage against Western teams. Yeah. And what's mostly impressive, I think, is that they have stayed united. Obviously, they had a few player changes, but they have like just kept going for their dream, and now find themselves actually beating or taking maps against teams like Fnatic and NIP. And I think like teams like NIP and Fnatic, the more and the longer the time goes, and they always win like 16-10, 2-0s, etc. They feel like they need to put less of an effort going into these games, whereas these guys are just staying focused, trying their best, and potentially just trying to learn from their mistakes and downfalls they had before against NIP and Fnatic. But now finally they're taking a few maps, and probably that can encourage the Australian CS team to just blossom a little bit more, which is great. Yeah. Nothing news on the American side, though, unfortunately.
No, the NA flag is not waving brightly. I mean, Cloud9's not quite out of it yet, but again, they are on the bubble. It's not looking good, obviously. Team Liquid, not
You've got your flagpole prepped and ready, right, Scott?
No, I learned at the very first major, like, don't wave the flag too much because you just get embarrassed, you know. But back to the point about Vox, and like I want to talk to you a little bit about like best of 1, best of 2, best of 3. Obviously, last Gfinity, you guys weren't at, but they did best of 3, kind of GSL group style. Yeah. Which I think all of us like a best of 3. It gives you a better indication of really who's the better team that day. The randomness kind of goes away by map 3.
Indeed.
Best of 2, similar, but again, you end up with you have a draw situation, right? So you really don't have a clear winner. And then best of 1 is that like roll the dice. If this would have been a best of 1 tournament,
Vox would probably be in the playoffs by now.
They're sitting in first place because they beat you the first map and they beat NIP the first map. That would be the incredible spoiler, and that's where everyone who's fans of your team and NIP goes, best of 1's terrible. This isn't right. They would never win a best of 3. So we're kind of in that middle territory with the best of 2.
Simply put, the fewer maps you have, the more room you make for upsets and randomness overall. So yes, pro teams, hardcore fans of a certain team, a tier 1 team, they are obviously happy to see a best of 3. But in terms of community's growth, upset storylines, viewership potentially, best of 1 is not necessarily bad in that aspect. Yeah. And I guess you can argue in many other sports as well. Qualifications, similar as a group stage, should have an element of, you cannot just play, surely when you have 4 teams, it's fine to play best of 3, but we would be sitting here way longer in the night if it's going to be a best of 3, a round robin or whatever, when you're talking about a group of 5.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at Group B again. And again, this is the group that we're going to cover with this match, EnVyUS versus VP. But again, as you can see, very close as well. I know the points don't look so close, but they haven't all played all the same matches. So Virtus.Pro's got one more match to play. If they 2-0, that gives them the 6 points they need. They also, move a little closer. So again, should be a good matchup, EnVyUS Virtus.Pro. Initial thoughts, we're kind of waiting for the vetoes and all that to happen. So what's your initial thoughts on the group as well as the matchup?
EnVyUS actually hasn't really even been tested much in this group. I thought for example, I thought Titan were the ones who'd have a chance. Maybe since it was 2 maps, maybe they could get a map off them if it was the right maps. VP, obviously they haven't played yet, but they definitely should be their biggest test. And I was wondering with Cloud9, just like how good is the new roster? It turned out they were okay, but they didn't really have they didn't have anything in any area that they could have. They didn't have the players to like outskill the EnVyUS guys. They didn't have really like a polished tactical approach. So I think they were lacking a bit, and that's why they're down there in 4th place, So I think for EnVyUS, that bit's standard. Titan maybe have actually surprised here because I wouldn't necessarily have expected when I saw those maps that they would have 2-0'd Virtus.Pro. Those are, in theory, the maps I would have said would be the 2 best for Virtus.Pro. So I would have thought that would be at best a 1-1, maybe even a Virtus.Pro 2-0. So Titan may be slightly exceeding expectations here. And then I kind of mentioned for Cloud9, their problem is some of the teams they're facing are just killers here. It's going to be very, very difficult for a newer lineup like that to have any kind of success, especially since it's been a while since a team like Cloud9 or iBuyPower was really at that level in Europe,
Yeah, and I know that you've been very busy with your team and they're in the other group, so I wouldn't expect you to know all the details of this matchup and how they've done this weekend, but
fair
assessment,
yeah. My thoughts, it's way more stakes on board for in place for VP. They more or less, at least they need to get a map out of them. Hopefully for them, they get 2 maps, and then they have a fairly good final matchup versus Immunity. Whereas EnVyUS, just looking at the round difference, they should be fairly safe in terms of qualifying for tomorrow's playoffs. So VP, they have more to play for, but at the same time, when if they start to lose a pistol round, not picking up the eco round, not getting into the game, that might stress them as well, and might be a premature ticket back to Poland.
Gotcha. Well, let's go ahead and kind of shift gears and start talking about the rosters of these teams. We'll start talking about EnVyUS first,
okay.
and they'll bring us a graphic. But in the meantime, again, why don't you kind of walk us through these guys and your highlight players? And here it is right here.
Okay, so we'll go left to right. Left is Happy, the lurker, probably the overall, generally the biggest fragger if you think of this lineup since it's kind of been incepted. He initially, actually, interestingly, didn't start out when he came to this team as the in-game leader. It was initially MBK, then it was Shocks, then it came to Happy, and that's when their success came. That's when they became like a top 2 team, and then eventually they won Major, they won a bunch of tournaments, 3 or 4 tournaments, but they've been a little bit stale recently, so their decision was kind of like Fnatic have done. Okay, we'll try changing the in-game leader. Maybe that'll spice things up, maybe it'll give people a different role, so Happy shifted that over to the guy who's on his right now, which is Shocks. Formerly, if you're going to go way back in time, one of the absolute best players in CSGO, an absolutely incredible player. I'd kind of describe him now as what Olaf Meister is now, is kind of what Shocks used to be when he was in Very Games. This amazing player who had all the skills, just incredibly, incredibly talented. Now he's more of like a strict entry fragger. Now he's the in-game leader as well. You don't tend to see him at the top of the score, but he still has the occasional like crazy pistol round or one-off round, but he's not that big an impact player anymore. The middle guy at the moment, actually interesting, is the guy who's kind of carrying the team. Yet of all these players here, he's really the young guy, actually. All the rest of them have like a history in Source, history playing with each other. Kiyoshima's the guy who came up. In fact, he came up as the result of an absolute upset when Clan Mystic won ESWC at the end of 2013. And now at the moment, he's like the head fragger. He's the guy where he's an entry guy. He's very aggressive. He can play with all the guns. He's famous for his CZ. His AK is crazy. He's just a very, very aggressive player. He's the player where if you throw the smoke down, he doesn't wait. He comes through the smoke at you. So very fun player to watch, especially when his aim is on. Then you've got NBK to his right here, who's a very dashing player. He's got a wonderful English but French accent, you know.
Always focused.
Yeah, he's always fuck used, Scott. Especially when I'm done with him. No, I like to keep people mentally on game. But, you know. No, he's a very versatile player. That's the thing. At periods in his career, he was kind of the second or third best player on his team. He could play all the spots. So in this team, he kind of takes more of a back role because they need someone to do some of the supportive roles because they've got so many star aimers, you know. So he'll just play off insights, holding the site on his own, or backing someone up, or throwing a flash for someone. So it's rare, actually, that a player with that kind of talent will kind of take a back seat.
I agree. Like MBK and Shocks, like going back 12 months in time.
Different roles,
yeah, they were like the high-impact players. They were the one raking up 25-plus frags per half, basically. But now, taking more of a passive role. Saying something about Happy, you mentioned right now, he's not the in-game leader, did you say? Yeah.
Shocks has become it. Yeah.
But yeah, go back in time a little bit, like less, 2-3 months ago, he was the in-game leader, and he was probably the most diverse in-game leader there is out there. Like, he's really good with sniper. He does the clutch rounds. He was raking up pretty much more frags than MBK and Shocks and Kyoshima. He reminds me a little bit how in-game leaders used to, become in-game leaders, let's say 2003 or early stage of Counter. He was basically the best players of the teams, but that shifted going into like 2006, 2007, where they took a bit more passive role, anti-strategies, just focusing on the strategical part. But Happy is actually, was able to achieve this in 2015, which is quite remarkable. It's
pretty rare that an in-game leader can be the star, obviously, yeah.
And the last thing to say, like MBK right now is giving the world like scout lessons, right? Like he has found that gun, and every game, like he destroys with it.
Hey, listen, if any other pros think it's really OP, now this logically isn't correct. You don't have to be able to use it to prove it's OP, but if everyone else thinks it's OP, just show us.
Yeah.
Come in the game, get it.
He's definitely
get all these crazy highlight rounds, and we'll all know how OP it is. So I think it is OP. It has problems with it at least. But he's also exceptionally good with it.
Yeah.
You can't take that away. He's very, very good at abusing that weapon. Not everyone can.
And let's go ahead and take a look at Virtus.Pro. Obviously, in some regards, a storied roster with a couple new guys. Why don't you kind of start this?
Especially these 3 guys to the left I'm going to focus on first. So Taz, very old school player. I mean, this guy's been going to international lands from like 2004 onwards. Played many, many times against Patrick. Took a lot of those gold medals that could be in Patrick's trophy cabinet. Put them around his own throat.
Still open wound. But that's fine. Move on.
Fair enough, yeah. So then we've got Neo. In my opinion, the best 1.6 player ever. He's just incredible. Like you could need like an hour just to define what he was good at. You know, he could just do everything in the game. He was one of those rare players. I mean, actually, maybe you could compare him to Olaf in this sense, where his rifles were the absolute best, but he could also just AWP if he wanted to, and on any map, and he could be very, very competent with it. It wasn't just a one-off.
And sniping, of course, but that wasn't unique in his team. Like they had 4 good snipers. Back in the old.
And then obviously Pasha, actually of these 3, is much newer. He only came around in 2010 in terms of playing on the top level. And interestingly, when he was first introduced to the lineup, their lineup immediately went downhill. They were doing really badly, and everyone's like, oh, maybe it's over. Maybe it was that 5 special, the golden 5. Maybe that was it. And what's funny is I remember talking to Taz and Neo, and as their team gradually got better, they said, no, it's because in the old lineup, okay, we based it around Neo, etc. Everyone else kind of like did what had to be done. But when we realized about Pasha is, you have to just let Pasha do what he wants to do. And everyone else has to team play around him. And sometimes that might mean not even communicating with him. He just goes off. And the idea is you act as a
I don't take him as a player that has a very high word per minute number. You know, he's
in any
doesn't
sense,
communicate as much as the rest. So as you said, you need to kind of let him do whatever he wants to do. So don't add a lot of flashbangs to his inventory. Yeah. You know, rifle up, simple armor, and just let him take the entry frags, or go aggressive with the sniper. That's how you should utilize Pasha.
Yeah. And then we've got the 2 newer guys. So Snacks, I mean, I think he's probably overall the best player in this team. There's times when he can reach that level of being like maybe in a top 5 player in the world. He can be superlative, master of like abusing smokes, timing, uncanny timing on how to get behind people, how to get through defenses. He's really crazy at just his sense of when to take fights, you know, which is kind of like that's one of those scenarios where I have a term for it where I say like in-game IQ. Like, okay, it doesn't mean that outside of the game the guy could like do calculus or something, but in-game they just have like a special sense for when to go somewhere, where to go, and the game just seems to open up to them, you know. And then finally we've got Bialy here, very explosive personality in real life, but as a player as well, it's just like that. He's either sometimes just okay, just a decent player, and other times he's utterly crazy, but sometimes just for 1 round, just for half, you never know with Bialy. I don't think he even knows or his team knows.
He's very impulsive. He's kind of the guy that you as an in-game leader sometimes, you'll just love to have him because he will just go there and get 2 quick headshots, but at the same time, you're calling a standard round, you're having a flashbang timing, and he's just like dying early on because he felt like he had a feeling for getting a frag, right?
If I had to compare him to a player, could I compare him to like Gux from
a little bit, but I would say he's actually a little bit more aggressive than Gux.
Okay, well,
yeah.
that's
early Gux, okay? Early Gux, yeah.
Quite a statement, yeah. Okay.
All right, we have actually our map 1 vetoes and picks, so let's go ahead and pull that up, and you can see we've ended up on Train, Virtus.Pro's choice. They got rid of Inferno and Dust 2, and EnVyUS got rid of Mirage and Overpass. Thoughts on that?
I mean, that's very bold from Virtus.Pro to pick it, but then again, EnVyUS doesn't really play this map. I think they're one of the teams who haven't really cared about it. Their problem was, okay, Mirage, I can understand them removing. It's the classic Virtus.Pro map. Overpass, this is what's interesting here, because essentially this map veto tells us that EnVyUS is more worried about playing Overpass than they are about playing Train, which is a map that, in theory, some of these teams might know nothing about. So this is definitely a bold move in terms of leaving it up.
I think the explanation that they are comfortable, that is EnVyUS, comfortable being Train, is that Virtus.Pro has played a game of Train here, so they have at least some material to go and analyze and see where's Taz, what kind of pistol rounds do they have in their arsenal. Whereas Virtus.Pro, they're going into the dark now, I would say. They have no idea how EnVyUS is playing on Train, but still, do they have enough prepared to even have a solid positioning, rotation, knowing the plant spot and all that? Because we're talking about a map that was surely introduced by Valve into the official map pool. What is it, like 4 weeks or more ago, but it hasn't really been incorporated in the leagues because a lot of leagues were ongoing, right? So this, correct me if I'm wrong, one of the very few times we've seen it in a LAN environment.
I think it's only the second LAN that's even used it.
Yeah. And we've also got map 2, so let's go ahead and pull that up, and we'll see it's going to be Cash. That was EnVyUS' choice. They got rid of Mirage and Cobblestone, and then Virtus.Pro got rid of Inferno and Dust 2.
Now, this is a very exciting map because both these teams are known to be good on this map, and both teams like to play it as well. Both teams can run up huge T-sides as well, so I actually think this map should be the closest. I'm actually not sure what to expect of the Train. The fact that VP's picked it, the fact that I kind of feel like EnVyUS, they were kind of caught between like, well, we don't really want to play either of these maps, and they just had to leave it open. In a weird way, I think EnVyUS is the better team. I'm going to pick EnVyUS to win 2-0, but I actually think this map, the Train map, I think VP very well could get that, but this should be the fun one. This is the one that I expect could be like the full length of rounds, you know.
Okay.
For me, it's a 50-50. I would say if it wasn't for Train, I would deem EnVyUS as clear favorite, but I think Train ultimately will help Virtus more than it will help EnVyUS. Even again, that EnVyUS has some stuff to look at from today or yesterday. But yeah, 50-50.
dare give an overall prediction?
No, I think it's going to be extremely close and similar to the most games this very weekend, to be honest.
Okay. What about you?
Yeah, I'll go 2-0 EnVyUS.
2-0 EnVyUS. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll be back after map 2, but in the meantime, we will go right to Henry G and DDK. Take it away, guys.
Thanks, Scott. Yep, we're back again.
Here we are.
Kicked off Gfinity Masters and we're back. The duo in action again. So, trade and cash. What do you think, Miss Henry G?
Well, I'll be completely honest. I haven't seen a lot of Train. I used to play it a lot in Source. One of my favourite maps to call on as a captain. And I feel like it's more the CS:GO version is very similar to the Source version as opposed to the 1.6. From what I've seen on it, like the meta is still being defined. People don't really know how to play it still. Like we've seen it a couple of times in this LAN. I think Vox is still the ones leading it. Like their approach to it is bursting out very quickly and taking advantage of the bomb site and not actually utilising all these like impressive smokes that everyone seems to like get bogged down with. They kind of feel like they have to put those down. But you casted Virtus.Pro on Train yesterday, didn't you? So why don't you tell us a little bit about that? You could probably give us a little bit of a deeper insight.
So in that matchup, it was just really standard stuff from VP. They didn't have to do anything special really, because Cloud9 were just going for the outside hits with the smokes, which is pretty standard. You see that all the time because you can just carpet the entire outside with smokes, get almost a guaranteed bomb down. So it makes a lot of sense to go for that in the majority of occasions. But where Cloud9 really struggled is actually with the flanking from Taz, because Taz was always really active on inner, and whenever Cloud9 showed presence on inner, they would actually tend to go inner. They didn't just take it for map control. They would usually take it because their intent was to hit B, and that seemed to be the edge that they gave up. And with EnVyUS, this is a team that's is very, very flashy on the fly. They're very good at just quickly adjusting, adapting to situations. I think Taz is going to give a lot of respect there, so I don't think Taz is going to be as aggressive and get as much free intel, and I think that was the problem for them.
I think you're absolutely right there. Like on a map like D-Train, if you're not showing any sort of presence on the inside bomb site, you're really going to struggle actually containing people there. If they catch on to you, you haven't even got someone holding there, let alone like faking it. If they can push up and get to pop dog before you're aware of it and you're executing outside, you're going to get absolutely torn apart. So, like I said, I don't think that's going to happen here. Like EnVyUS come from the school of CSS, and that was one of the main tactics, and that was pushing inside and getting intel and trying to work out what the T's were doing. Like a CT player inside would always push inside once the execution had gone outside. But we can go down to the knife round here. Obviously, this is going to be, for now at least, while I still think teams are learning the map, it's going to be a CT map very heavily. I think teams are still learning how to actually execute properly. Like we know they can smoke outside and get the bomb down quite easily, but in terms of actually playing the map and like the CTs can just hold back sniper rifles on top of the trains, it's basically just holding for their execution and then like just retaking the bomb site. It's quite an easy retake. There's not many places where the T's are high once the bomb is down. It's quite an open map, especially with things like the namings are going to get me here. We used to call the sniper tower up in the roof there, so I'm going to call it sniper tower for now. But CTs, that seems like a really strong position now. The fact you have like the in-between gap there giving you some cover, seems like the CTs have so many options every round where they can hide from and actually see above the smokes as well. So I think they might be a little bit overrated as to how effective they are. But I'm really excited to cast this. It's my first Train cast, and I hope I can bring some insight to this from playing it so much for like 10 years or so. But yeah, this looks good. Who won the knife round now? I actually completely missed it.
I was paying so much attention to you, Henry G. I wasn't even looking at the knife round.
It was such a good story.
But we're about to see regardless. And Sniper Tower's a good name. I guess Heaven, CT Sky. Those are some of the names.
Heaven works. Heaven. Snap it. Let's call it Heaven. We defined it from now on. Heaven, guys.
Yeah, it's pretty universal. Yeah. But I like to try to do that sometimes with some maps. You have like a bit of maybe an obscure call, because sometimes, let's say a player's name gets used, and to I guess the average viewer, they're like, what the hell is Get?
Well, that's like on Cash, that position on A bomb is called MBK, and like it doesn't describe the position whatsoever. It doesn't paint the picture. People can't go on the map and say, oh look, that's MBK. Like, but when you have something called Heaven, obviously up in the sky, but obviously we're going on a tangent here. Let's get into the game. EnVyUS will be starting on CT on D-Train. We're going to put ourselves out there. So that is the preferred side, as it is the current situation in CS:GO generally. It'll be interesting to see what kind of execution we go for from Virtus.Pro. They have got quite a lot of utility there. They've got 2 smoke grenades. Wow, make that 3 actually. So they've got 2 options there. They can either smoke outside and go for the straight plants, or in my opinion, what we used to do quite a lot was go inside with the Glocks. Like, when you have 5 people executing inside and they've only got USPs to hold you off, it's almost impossible to stop them. So here we go. It looks like they're actually opting towards that B-bomb site.
Yeah, the classic Train play. And then MBK's going to spot the smoke, and now he just knows. And in goes the nade. That's a good nade. Lots of damage done by that one. Snacks, Bjarni, and Pasha all quite low as the players do come in, and MBK tries to get something done through the smoke as he waits for his teammates to join him. And actually finds Snacks there. Good stuff there from MBK, but the bomb is down. So Virtus.Pro with at least that guaranteed plant. But it's going to be a lot of effort here for Virtus.Pro to defend this push from EnVyUS. But they're really struggling getting closer. Virtus.Pro holding the line fantastically at the moment. Just 3 players left now for EnVyUS.
Worth noting that EnVyUS haven't actually got any. Oh, they have got a kick. Kira just picked one up. There we go. So they need to get their skates on if they're going to have any chance of this bomb. It's going to be such a difficult rotate when you've just got the USPs and the terrorists can just hide inside like they are. It looks like that just shows you how powerful that can be. Like, especially when you know the CT, the terrorists have that big edge on the pistol round. I feel like the CT teams these days have to do something more assertive to win the round. You can't let them come into the bomb site that easily with the smoke grenades. I feel like you have to go and get intel there. Like, we used to run a tactic where you could just like push 2 CTs inside just to get that initial frag and stop those kind of tactics.
Stop the rush timing,
yeah, stop them getting their smokes down and kind of stopping the tactic in their steps. Yeah.
Okay, well, double scout there for EnVyUS as they go for the full investment in this round to see what damage they can do. And Virtus.Pro, of course, 4 SMG, 3 MP7s.
That's really weird on a map like Train when it's really like long range. You'd expect them to kind of probably opt for the Galils there, but like especially when the EnVyUS have got 2 scouts in their arsenal, like it's like that's so strong. When you think about all the trains they can jump over and stuff like that, it's going to be really difficult for Virtus.Pro here. I guess they're going for a full-on smoke execute and just hoping they can get the bomb down and run around, running and gunning.
Well, we'll have to see what they execute here. It's going to be interesting because, I mean, they have all the smokes to play with, so they can actually force close ranges on the outside with those smokes, so that's going to help out massively. But still, here's Shoxy there by the electric box, going to pop out, looking for the headshots, actually gets nothing there. Very unfortunate for Shox, and these Virtus.Pro players are creeping ever forwards as EnVyUS are going to find some kills of their own. Kiyoshima there in heaven trying to get something done, but Smith in the meantime picked himself up an AK, but that bomb is ticking away despite the 2-man advantage. They don't have a kit to their name, so Neo, if he can just keep the delay going, but these ranges are not favorable and they're all facing it once. MBK gets their head, oh, rather the penetration kill onto Neo, and it's going to be the defuse.
That is literally exactly what my point was before that round started. Like, once you've got the post plant there, like, you've got Mac 10s to defend it, and like, you're going up against like CTs rushing you with scouts, and like, they took the AK off, the only rifle they actually had, and like Neo, like, he had an advantageous position, but he couldn't really utilize it with a Mac 10 in hand. So like, that's for me, like, was a little bit of a silly decision from their
They could have played like the close ranges going into winner and then just kind of lock down connector and
go inside at least. And then, but there we go. They've actually kind of force bought here. They have opted some rifles this time. Strangely, they didn't do that last round, but they've gone for it this time. And I'm not sure EnVyUS will be expecting this.
The alley push for them, trying to get some aggression and info. And there's a duel, and Pasha's trying to actually win this with the scout. He did get a tag, I think. Indeed. So this is problematic because I think that's Smith there. He's kind of stuck there. He can't really cross back, so Patrick can just stay here for ages. They're gonna even maybe go for the finish. Oh, they're not getting him quickly. That's kind of painful now. They're both low. So Smith has actually done a good job on the early damage exchanges. But Pasha will finish off Smith in the end. So they're just holding their ground at the moment. And EnVyUS are trying to be proactive in this round. Shox is going to find Bjarni, so he's been neutralized there. They are actually kind of sandwiching Virtus.Pro slowly, but Virtus.Pro are getting themselves onto that bomb site B. Here goes MBK. He's got a lot of work to do. There's frag number 1. That's the pop down on the floor, and the call going out to his teammates. Happy's coming in from connector. Now Happy has a lot to do here to stop this round being winnable for Virtus.Pro, but he's actually going to play it safe, fall back again, and wait for his teammates to help him out instead of going Rambo. But it's going to be Neo to pick up the kill, and this is just getting harder and harder every second for EnVyUS. And there's Kiyoshima going down as well, so just funneling through the choke points, not really effective for EnVyUS. And a very strange movement in this round. Yeah, it looked like EnVyUS actually had the advantage there when Shoxy pushed into main. He got some decent intel, picked up a frag. But once Virtus.Pro made their way into the inside bomb site, MBK only had an MP7 to hold them off with. Although he got 1 frag,
I feel that the SMG meta is not going to be that effective on this map. Like, I really do feel you want the rifles on this one, just so you can keep it long range. The fact, train, right, like, you want to force them to plant the bomb and feel like they're panicked. You've got grenades. When you know they're on the bomb site, you can just bombard them with grenades, use the rifles, use the famished burst fire as they're coming down the ramps and out of upper. You have the advantage there. You don't need to go so close range that you're actually having to get into that action. Like, you're kind of trying to funnel them and forcing them to plant the bomb.
Okay, well, it's going to be hard times for EnVyUS. I mean, it's a map that we have seen be fairly CT-sided, as has been mentioned a few times. And they're not starting things off with a good economy, so definitely a lot of pressure on them. Virtus.Pro taking this one pretty slowly. They know how poorly off EnVyUS are at the moment with their buys, so making sure they don't get rushed. And playing the good old buddy system.
It's a proven system.
The proven Henry G buddy system. That's just making sure that this area is under control, and this is what we want to see basically. Just if you're going to go towards A, that's great, but just have that presence there, and Taz is doing the job.
That's all CS:GO is about: showing presence, getting map control, keeping the CTs in positions before you execute.
And here it comes, the execute in towards A. Very slowly but surely, steadily happening as the smokes do go down. Neo trying to peck away at EnVyUS. As Bjarni's up on the site, but he's going to get caught by Shoxy's FAMAS. This is a good start for EnVyUS. Can they keep it rolling though? Ooh, nice tag from Smith there. That is Neo down to 6 HP as the bomb gets planted. And it is frags for frags, but it's actually EnVyUS upper man at the moment. As the spray comes in from Snacks. It's a good position here from actually to hold up at the moment. They're going to charge him down, but he's going to make it happen with the SMG. 2 frags for Snacks in that position. And Happy and NBK are left now. And they don't have a kit, so indeed it's got to be a speedy retake, but it's not going to happen so far. Happy just sitting by the bomb train, seeing what extra damage he can do until that bomb explodes. And there's an extra frag onto Taz. But he will not be able to find Neo or Snacks. And the round will be won by Virtus.Pro. And it was not all that much damage done. Okay, at the end, they did lose an extra man. So 4 men down, but still economic hardship for EnVyUS.
Yeah, I think that like with this current buy they've got, they're going to want to do something a bit more assertive, pushing somewhere for some intel, trying to catch someone off who's playing position by themselves. This would be a good time to push upper for inside, for example, try and lock down Taz, who's there by himself. Or like, it looks like, saying that, it looks like Virtus.Pro are actually going for a very fast execute outside here. This is probably going to work out what the best EnVyUS could have hoped for, just because they can get straight in the face and start battling with their low utility. And there we go, they can just make those rifles work for them.
Yeah, Virtus.Pro, they've got a couple players out there still left alive, but they're out there in no man's land at the moment, waiting amongst the dead bodies of their comrades, their fallen comrades, as Shoxy adds one more to the list as Taz hits the ground. And Neo, his location might not be known, but they're on high alert on the outside at the moment. He's crawling through the smoke here. This could get pretty interesting, but Kyo will find him. So Kyo Shimat to end the round there. EnVyUS pick up 1, which is good. But still a ways to go before their money looks really solid.
Yeah, this is the point now. This will be the tipping point for me. This is when they can start turning it around and start building some momentum in the CT half. They want to be posting at least 10 rounds, I think, like on CT train. Like you want to have a really strong, solid half, especially where I feel like Virtus.Pro probably the more experienced team on this map. We can see Snacks has actually opted for the AWP here, the first actual AWP I think we've seen on this this map so far. Interesting to see how he can make it work for him. Obviously, a lot of this map gets smoked out via choke points, but we can see that there's actually no sniper rifle for EnVyUS at the moment.
Look at these pixels that Snacks is trying to use to shoot through. Is so slight, and he actually messes up the smoke, and you can see that completely screws his ability to play the angles. He has like a few pixels to spot there, but it's going to be pretty tough. Now, why is this angle? It looks like Snacks actually gets tagged down to 13 with a nade. Not having Kevlar really stings. But basically, Virtus.Pro have been playing for some picks so far, and they haven't found anything just yet. But in comes the smokes for Virtus.Pro on the site, and EnVyUS, they have a good idea what's happening now. So out of Pop Dog, the first man goes. Shoxy up on the train. Oh, he's going to spot him there through the smoke. Gets the spray down. Where are the comrades there for Virtus.Pro's Taz and Neo? Looks like they're a bit spread out. They're trying to go for that play towards B, force a rotation towards A, and they're being a little bit slow here. NBK is just taking shots and does pick up Bjarni pretty easily. So Snacks is going to try to keep that AWP alive, it would seem, at this point.
Yeah, it was a nice idea, the fake execute from VP. Unfortunately, when you run those kind of strats and your players go outside and they don't make any frags whatsoever, and they can just see nothing else is out there, this is never going to work for you. You're relying on those players to at least get one frag so that they've lost intel out there, and then at this point, well, like you said, that's Pasha picked up a huge scout headshot there, quite close range. But it leaves Snacks with the AWP now, and he's going to be finding. Well, actually, he's more T-steps, isn't he? He's be able to save that quite easily. And T-side train as well, and all can be so valuable. If you can take that towards like side alley, for example, and just work a pick there, that opens the map up completely. Like you normally only play one person at side alley, so if I was calling, I'd say that'd probably be the best place to try and work a pick. We can see Happy's actually opted to pick up an AWP now. Let's see where he goes with it. Let's see what they think is the most useful position for this.
Yeah, Happy tends to be quite a situational AWPer, where he just like plays one spot, but like knows how to do it super well. And well, he's doing the connect position. Let's see if he finds anything. It's going to be Ali, though.
Oh, look at this. I just know this game so well. He's AWP inside her.
There's Snacks going to whiff the shot as the smoke goes down. Now it's a case of repositioning now for Virtus.Pro as they have been smoked off. Now where do they go from here? Got Taz ready to go down Pop Dog and just keeping any pushes from Ali at bay. Sorry, from Upper at bay. So not much info for either team at the moment. Looks like they are going to make a small push onto Ali and get themselves out into yard, but it's being defended fairly well. Snacks does pick up one on Shoxy though, but still they're holding strong our EnVyUS on the outside.
Yeah, it's like when you've only got one AWP in hand, like all you're literally trying to do is work picks, and unless he gets he got one, but like when you've only got the P250s to follow it up and no utility whatsoever, you can't smoke off the choke points. Like there's not really much you can do. I guess they're just looking to get the bomb down in any way possible here, and if you can pick up that would have been a frag that could have done it.
That looked like it was on.
Yeah, it looked like to me that was on it. But there we go. That's going to be all she wrote for that round, I'm afraid. And then this is it now. We should see the economy for EnVyUS build up. We want to see them get in that position. Like, wouldn't be surprised if they did a dual AWP setup here. Getting the AWP setup inside is very strong as well. Having one AWP inside, you can play him alone, and then one AWP outside kind of help backing everyone up from all positions. Normally starting off inside alley, then moving his way around to main. That's very effective as well. We can see that looking at the cash while we're paused there, I assume mic problems. There we go. We can see the money's okay for terrorists. They can get a reasonably good buy. I can see Snacks is going on a Tech 9 in utility, which suggests with this kind of buy they'll be doing an outside execute again or something heavily like that with smoke grenades.
Yeah, I mean, I think you made the point really well at the moment because it's such early days. People are just figuring out, okay, how do you do the basic stuff on this map? Like, we have RA execute. It's really strong. We cut off everything with smokes, and then we attack. Now it's just about getting really good at attacking, and then they'll find something that's like really effective, and then the CTs will find like a really effective way to deal with that. It goes back and forth to an extent, and then that process has to like evolve a little bit before we see more diverse stuff.
Yeah.
And so I would expect a lot of these outside executes, and here we go. It looks like they want to go with a fast one potentially here as the smokes go down immediately on the outside. Now, how much damage can they get done with this? Snacks only on a Tech 9. We've got Kiyoshima long range just with the M4. Oh, immediately dropped there by Bialy. Great stuff from him. Shoxy waiting on the bomb train. Could cause quite the delay for this bomb to get planted. Great stuff there so far from Shoxy as he takes cover for the reload. And EnVyUS not looking too shabby, but it is Taz to try to reclaim control. The trace coming in to play, and it is Virtus.Pro who suffer the most. Bialy left with 10 HP, the lone man, and EnVyUS with a nice cleanup, only losing 2 players. That's really good for them.
I actually really like that strat from VP. I thought that it's actually a really interesting way to actually execute instead of all lining up and like chucking the smokes over, like and taking about 10 seconds for it all to come over. If you can work out how to do it in like a nice methodic rush like that, you can actually do something like and actually surprise them while having the smokes at the same time. Unfortunately, they didn't make the frags there, and they're going to be forced onto yet another eco here. And it looks like the auto sniper has come out as well. Talking about that dual sniper setup is going to be, in my opinion, going to be incredibly effective on this map going forward.
Yeah, so Kiyoshima that's holding on to that. Oh, the bomb has dropped Nally immediately, so just going for it. It's a pretty hardcore save from Virtus.Pro. Getting it over with quickly now. Now Taz could be really annoying by taking down one player, but
thinking about it, the auto sniper is like the perfect gun for this map. Like if you're holding inside, like the only entrance really into that site is just smoking down and going down the lower ramp. It's the safest way to do it. But if you have an auto sniper, you can just absolutely rail people coming down, right? That's got to be the smartest play, the smartest gun at least to use on this map. I think that's going to be used a lot.
Yeah, it's all the smokes. All the sniper's pretty good.
Yeah, it's gonna be really great. It's gonna be so strong. Like you can just use it. It's so versatile on this map, especially when everything's getting smoked off.
And this is a good position for it as well to even see over the top of the smokes. So EnVyUS setting up well to have some strong results here. Happy already picking up a kill, and he is actually over towards the upper area with that AWP. So he picked up a long range shot at the start of the round. So now Virtus.Pro have to make something happen with just 4 players. And you can see them trying to get the boost going so they can get an equalizing kill to force the rotation to create a weakness, but it's not coming easily. So at the moment, Smith, he could get caught here, and there it is. Pasha picks up the kill. Good stuff there for Virtus.Pro. They've evened it up now. They've got 50 seconds left to play with. Still a lot of grenades to use, although only just 1 smoke actually. And you can see that they're now coming together to try to execute. Snacks is out there on the yard already, so they know that they can get in there. But Shoxy over by Popdog, oh, he could be a really big problem here for this push. In comes one. Oh, just they spot Shoxy, and he's going to be able to call out to his teammates. Now they all face. That's so smart there. Beautiful team play. Snacks and Bialy picking up both entry frags onto the outside bomb site as the bomb gets planted finally. NBK's nade won't find much. And Happy comes in from the side. Great shot there. That's Bialy down. Spots the second one. Snacks gets tagged, but does get the kill, leaving it all up to NBK. Stuck behind that smoke. Will dissipate though, but they know where he is, and that's really the issue. Got the AWP in the distance there from Pasha. This is really hard for NBK. That bomb ticking away. He does have a kit. One flash, but the time is really going away quickly now, and they are going to be falling back on Virtus.Pro. They know they've done enough, and that's going to be it. Just Pasha coming in just for one last check. But that's a very well saved round by Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, for me, Smith was the main blame there. Like, I'm not really sure where he's facing Ali like that with a rifle. Like when you're playing with a rifle, you want to be waiting for them to come out to you, flashing them, and then facing. Like it's one of the main areas to pick as a terrorist.
You don't get anything. You already have the advantage in that round,
right? Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Like why give them? It might make it like it's almost a disadvantage to you. They have so many options. They can boost, use the smokes. There's so many different areas and options they've got there, and you just face with an AK, and then he's got AWP. Like he's opened the map up for the terrorists, and it really wasn't necessary.
There's this one principle where, like, as CTs, if you get that first kill, you have the advantage. You can basically play normal and just force them to make a mistake, basically. But there it was Smiths.
This is better. Now he's got the AWP, he's got a reason to face it. Like, yeah, the rifle is justified, but sorry, he had a sniper rifle is justified, but 1-for-1 actually works in favour of the terrorist here. Just the fact that now the CTs are a bit more spread out, they've been peeled back, and now they have to watch more areas with less men. So that's not the greatest exchange for the EnVyUS, I'm afraid.
That's another thing you can criticise, that re-peek there. Again, you pick up the advantage. Now going for that second frag, risky, and you've already got a good spot in the match. But it's going to be Happy that gets taken down now. That's a really nice movement from Bialy. I have no idea how he picked that one up. Happy not able to get the finishing shot. I think he just got a tag on him. And Bialy now executing Kiyoshima. So they are just getting picked to pieces by the remaining Virtus.Pro players. Shoxy only gets one by the electric box. And Bialy's already on a 4K. Oh, he gets the ace as well. Bialy just surgical precision, just creeping through the map, just picking up one here, one there. And until he's got the full lineup of players to his name. So 5-6 now. Virtus.Pro climbing back. 5 rounds already on the T side. Yeah, they're opting for this. Well, EnVyUS are going back to the dual AWP setup here. I think, like you said, all they need to do is just get the initial pick, like face the angles until you get confrontation, and then just fall back and just force the T's out. Right now, so now they're in a great position. They've got the bomb down in T main, and they don't need to overface here or anything. They can go for the initial shot and just fall back and just let the clock tick down, smoke the bomb, molotov the bomb, etc. But just hold your position and don't do anything to give the T's a look into the round. Make them work for it. It's like one of those maps like Inferno. You have so many natural choke points. Yeah, absolutely. So that really help you. It's not like Dust 2, for example, where the T's can really get the better of you. Yeah, and they can just roam and get access to the bomb side with like it's a real 50-50 chance. But those CTs have complete domination on the map. The T's have to come out and face them. And that's exactly what's happening now. They are slowly emerging to get these angles. And Snacks, he will find one frag. Shoxy is on the A-bomb train though, so he does have support from Happy. It's providing a really nice cover on those long ranges, but now the smokes come down a little bit late, but that's good here by EnVyUS, picking up one more as Pasha now moves in. They're just not able to win these duels of Virtus.Pro. Great movement in and out the trains from EnVyUS, and they will pick up the round pretty cleanly as well, just for the loss of Kiyoshima. So 7-5 now. Stemming the bleeding for now, but still Virtus.Pro definitely must be feeling a bit confident with this so far.
Yeah, it's been quite a back and forth game. Like, no one seems to get real momentum here. Like, we saw EnVyUS, they took 5 rounds in a row, but then they lost two rounds after that. We can actually see a Mac 10 coming out for Neo here. That's an interesting buy. Suggesting to me they might be planning to go somewhere inside. Like, that's the only real option you've got when you've got a Mac 10. Yeah, here we go. So look, if they can, he's leading the charge as well here. It looks like they're going to go for a little execute onto B. Like, I think they've been spotted now. Their options are, yeah, they're going in. They're going to have to commit to this.
I like this as well. You know, he has a Molotov, so he's like, okay, I'm going to get a flash, smoke, and Molotov, so I can, instead of I've got a proper weapon. But I'm curious if he has a particular spot for that Molotov. Perhaps a connector would be like a really nice delay after they get the bomb down. But they're just holding now, putting the doubts. And I think we have a player really close to teammate. I think it's Kiyoshima. So he's actually going to spot that there's no A play. It does not exist. And it's going to be that committed B push. And in it comes MBK from below. Able to get some spray done, but that smoke is making life really difficult. In comes Neo with the frag and the Mac 10. And Happy goes up close and personal. 5-7 picks up 1 kill, puts pressure on the bomber. And the bomb will go down, but at the cost of many players here for Virtus.Pro. And they're all completely annihilated. Excellent push there by EnVyUS for the retake. And they are going to pick up the round.
Yeah, it seemed like it was almost successful when they walked in. They actually got the Mac 10 kill on upper. I'm not really sure how that went down, but it seemed successful purchase for him somehow. But there we go. The Orbs just shutting them down as they came in, and Happy actually resorted to getting a 5-7 out and just like doing so much damage there on the bomb side as he ran along the upper platform there. And then it looks like the money situation, that was a really, really forced buy last round. I wasn't a fan of it, to be honest. And now they're going to be, they'll be on the pistols, Tech 9s and PT50s. Neo's actually gone for some body armor. He's got a smoke as well. Then we can also see Snacks for a little smoke. I guess their main aim is just to get the bomb down in any way capacity they can right now. Looks like a few bodies towards the inside bomb side, but right now it looks like they've been completely like choked off. They're not really going to be able to gain much access to any bomb sites right now.
And I like how Happy takes the kill, falls all the way back, complete reposition, no reason to re-peek.
Well, that's it. As soon as you work out they're on eco, there's no need for you to be in there anymore. Like, you shouldn't lose the gunfights. Like, even if they come inside on the bomb side, like I said before, you just put an airstrike on them and it's like, just kill the bomber. It's such an open plant. There's no cover at all. So you can get grenades onto them, they can't plant. So you just need to wait and use the Molotovs and your HEs effectively.
And what they are doing, just that, but MBK going to rain in a hail of bullets, and it's going to be the end of Virtus.Pro on this round. So 9-5 now the scoreline, as EnVyUS have they've had some shaky rounds earlier on, but they've managed to reassert their dominance, and they're playing it by the book. And we're seeing that Virtus.Pro seem a little bit stuck on 5 rounds, but this could be number 6 for them potentially. We'll have to see what they've got in the bag.
Yeah, well, I think 10 rounds is enough for EnVyUS. Like, I'd have liked to see 2 more, perhaps. Like, I think 11 rounds is good on CT train. Like, I think that's a nice, strong half. Like, 10 will be fine, but I'd say they really want to pick up this last round just to kind of secure it. And double AWPs here, side.
A double AWP alley push.
That's interesting. That's new meta.
That is pretty impressive indeed. And Kiyoshima is going to pick up a 2nd kill as well outside. They saw the double push on AWP on push on alley, and they decided to go out team main as well. So really good read there from Kiyoshima, knowing exactly where these T's are going to be going. And he's going to pick up a 3rd one as well, that AWP, single-handedly putting it to Virtus.Pro. Yeah. Really nicely done by him. Bialy's going to be answering only for a moment before Kiyoshima picks up number 4, and again working on his 2nd ace in this one, this time just with the AWP. But have to see if he's going to be able to do the damage here. As there it is, moving through the smoke. There's so little that Neo can really accomplish here. We've got Happy in the smoke as well, spamming away that 5-7. Somehow doesn't actually pick up the frag, so Neo does escape that situation. But he's only got 30 seconds left, and he's pretty much going to charge all the way to beat the timing of the AWPers. And there it is, MBK coming into position, 10-5. So I think both teams are fairly happy with that. Yeah,
like that's a pretty good half of both teams. Like, no one's like over the moon about it, but like EnVyUS will be happy that they can win this game. Like, they're going to want the pistol just to kind of give them that little bit more breathing room to work with. But at the same time, 5 rounds on terrorist side on train, I think that's absolutely acceptable as well. The fact is, I think Virtus.Pro actually did win the pistol on T side when they lost the subsequent anti-eco round, sorry. But then it was such a back and forth game in the first 10 rounds or so. Like, it wasn't really going one way or another, but then EnVyUS picked it up and they got themselves secured a nice lead there. So here we go. It'll be interesting to see how EnVyUS approaches this train side. They've obviously got Glock armored up. We're going to see the Glock train on train, it looks like.
And they're actually going to go for the alley push, and there's 2 members of Virtus.Pro here. The rest are in B. This is actually really smart positioning. Virtus.Pro, Bialy is going to pick up 3 kills with the help of Pasha, and it's going to be pretty decent here for Virtus.Pro, to say the least. They're 2 men up, but Shoxy's creeping around. He's got himself out team main, and he can provide some assistance just to get Happy out of this horrible spot. But these ranges aren't super good here for the Glock against these USPs and P2000s. But Happy is going to take the frag on the snacks. This is really hard work to get this bomb down at the moment for the French side. Shoxy coming into the side. What a reaction there from Neo, though, popping Shoxy's head, and that's going to leave it down to Happy. And in his favor, he's got Neo and Pasha very low, and he picks up the player who had loads of health, so it suddenly becomes really doable for Happy. If he just connects a couple bullets here, he could win the round, but it's going to be Neo with that long-range USP shot to take out Happy and win the rounds there for Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, that like bait they had aside, I leave like one person facing down the end and one person hidden in the corner. Like, it's kind of textbook CS, but like it really worked for them there. Like that one guy that's causing distraction, they ran straight past that box, and then they picked up 3 big frags there, and that just completely locked them down. It got a little bit close towards the end, but quite a good round for Virtus.Pro there, and that's what we want to see. Like, we want to see this to be a nice close series and see exactly how EnVyUS want to approach this map, and want to see it go a bit. I want to see it go the distance, to be honest, just so I can like see how the full range of tactics these teams have available in their arsenal.
And we've got 3 MP9s.
3 MP9s.
MP9 is really good, actually, very cost efficient. And we're going to have the push, the execute coming out from EnVyUS outside, spamming away with that Tech 9 for a moment before planting the bomb is NBK, but that bomb is not going to get planted. Virtus.Pro retake the situation. This is really good work from them. And wow, this is just a decimation.
Yep.
Great stuff.
Like, it was a nice idea. Like, they're obviously just trying to get the bomb down anyway. Like, truck 2 decent smokes out there, but like you said, when they've got the MP9s there, they can afford to just run and gun through the smoke. Like, there's no real sacrifice there. The advantage to buying those SMGs, even if you die with it, like, you're only giving away like an SMG to a T. Like, it's not the end of the world. It's not like you're giving them an M4. So like, MBK ran through the smoke, picked up a really nice kill onto the bomb, and that just secured them the round. That one frag alone was all they needed.
And Taz has been playing inner expertly. He reminds me a little bit of Get Right with some of the aggressions he's put on and how he plays around the smoke on this inner side. Something that Get Right used to be super good at, playing this position on B of Train. Of course, the older Train, but still, it shares the similarities. So here is the entire lineup. They're taking it very slowly. They've got a very limited investment. Just as we can see, $1,600. Just a Tech 9, PD50, flash, and that's about it. So there's a nice little flash over the top. That's really good there. But Taz somehow gets eliminated straight away, only after 1 kill. Snacks coming in from the side, spraying him down. But there's the run and gun that you're talking about. And it's perfect. Absolutely spot on. And the bomb is never going to go down. And it felt like 2 rounds where kind of the bomb should have been guaranteed to go down.
That actually made me feel a bit sick, just running and shooting and not actually stopping anywhere. Like, it's kind of sad that that's how CS is going down, but there we go. Yeah, you completely locked them down.
Yeah.
He's managed to surprise them in the side and just didn't stop running or shooting and killed about 3 people, so there we go. We can see a full buy now. Probably, I guess you call this the first gun round. We've got full AK and armor, but the CT's obviously opted for keeping the MP9s. We've got 3 rifles on them in terms of 2 pharmacists, 1 M4. I'd imagine we'll see like a kind of simple execute coming out here. It's probably the strongest thing that the T's can do. They know they've got the advantage on the guns here.
And I love this, getting very proactive, pushing in with the pop flashes, and that's the really good way to even up that advantage that EnVyUS are running with. For those AKs, well, hey, we got MP9s in your face. How do you like that? And it's going to be a frag for Virtus.Pro. So advantage them. Now even making it even better thanks to Neo. So yeah, these MP9s really paying off at the moment, just sticking with them.
Yeah, if you can win a gun round with MP9s and fair play, like that's pretty impressive. But it's kind of collapsing around them now.
But at least there's Taz left though, and he does have an M4. And it's just Happy now as Snacks picks up a frag on the back. And he's so low, Happy. All he has to do is just connect a couple bullets to those Polish players' heads. There's one. Taz falling. He's going to be able to reclaim the bomb. Snacks was repositioning, but where is he standing? That's really hard for Happy to know with this map. But there he's going to spot a bullet. He can place the smoke. So Happy should be able to get a plant down potentially here, and even maybe win the round if he's able to catch Snacks off guard, if he's able to outsmart him. But it's going to be Snacks just with a simple play, no messing around, not trying to just double think it, and gets the kill in the round.
That was actually a great read by Snacks. Like, most people would have assumed he was sticking outside there after that smoke. I was trying to plant the smoke either side, was caught onto it straight away, caught him inside with no problem whatsoever. You can see Snack's actually set on $12,000 right now. That's just showing you how much money that MP9 has racked up for him. So that's obviously another reason why people are using these guns, just for the
cost
pure
efficient.
economic. Yeah, absolutely. If you can get kills with it, like, you're going to be rolling in cash and be secured for most of the game.
Okay, well, EnVyUS just showing NBK at the moment on outside. And I think he knows that he got spotted there, so that might delay this a little bit as EnVyUS don't just rush in after getting spotted, because there was a slight rotation in there. They have 2 men by connector, so really fast rotate possible into B for Virtus.Pro. And I do believe they've got Taz just on the site there as well. So EnVyUS, they got the pistol armor, so big investment, 3 smokes as well, so they can have quite a strong execute into the B site also. And they've just got Kiyoshima just trying to provide a bit of a nuisance. They know there's Tech 9 armor out there as well. So Virtus.Pro, can they hold on? Here goes Taz, takes down the bomber. They're going to call that out as well, so the rotation can commence as Taz tries to lock it down, but he's switching to the pistol, running out of bullets. But in comes the reinforcements. The cavalry have arrived, and that bomb is not going to get planted yet again on the inner site.
Yeah.
Virtus.Pro have been preventing so many bomb plants. Good stop there from Kiyoshima, though, to do a bit of extra damage in the end, but it's going to be for naught as Virtus.Pro tie up the game 10-10.
It's going to be really difficult, I think, planting on that inside site, especially on ecos. Like, it's so open. Like, the smokes you can put down, like, they don't seem to provide that much cover, especially on the upper platform there. Like you can put a couple down, but you can still be seen from connector. Like, it's only going to protect you from the guys facing straight down the angle. And the smokes themselves can just be sprayed through, obviously. It's going to be very difficult to actually get a bomb plant down there, with, like, especially when we talk about the nades and stuff. But here we go. Sniper battle coming in there, and Shox is going to miss out narrowly on taking... Actually, I said that he actually hit Neo then, and that's going to be a great bit of damage. But taking the same as he got, and he's going to be left on 19 HP.
That's a great lob on that grenade, just like all the way from the top of the train. That's actually a really nice angle, and yeah, that picking approach coming in, double AWP. They're saying, okay, we need to get something with the alley angle, the T main angle. Yeah. So far they haven't got anything. Last time we saw that in the reverse kind of situation, when Virtus.Pro were on the T side, that Smiths kind of overpeaked, got a bit overzealous towards alley, and that's where the opening came up in a round like this. So we'll have to see how patient Virtus.Pro really are. So far, not much still. 50 seconds left now, so time is starting to really diminish for EnVyUS. And this is kind of a rough situation because they can't get that early advantage. They need that early pick. That's what they're really wanting to do.
That's the problem when you're working picks aside alley and the CT's using 3 smokes to kind of just block you off. Look at the time they've got remaining. They're going to be about the 30-second mark soon, and like they haven't begun to execute. Here they come. It's going to be so forced now. They need to look for any picks they can. Bomb goes down. This is to get to the stage where they're not going to have enough time to plant.
And there is happy with a quick throw into Bjarni, but as you say, there's 20 seconds to get the bomb down. Shoxy's sprinting for it, but he's got an AWP in hand and he's got no HP, 19, no Kevlar as well. Oh, Neo misses a shot, but he will finish him off. Happy going down, and there's no time surely, and there it is, the frag onto Shoxy to win Virtus.Pro the round, and yeah, they just couldn't get the picks rolling and just trying to throw and push out there.
Stifling play there from Virtus.Pro. Like they read that the 2 AWPs there were just purely working picks. There was no execution. There was no window to come out there. They're literally looking for any opportunity they could find. And when the Virtus.Pro locked that side alley down with the 3 smokes, like it's 60 seconds of a wall of smoke, and you can't really do much of that, especially with an AWP. You can't just walk through that. So that was great play from them. And EnVyUS perhaps should have read that a little bit earlier. But you can see the inside rush coming from now, and Taz, as you said, should make pretty light work from it. He's been such a monster on this so far.
Yeah, pulls out the pistol after 3 kills. So yeah, and they win pistol armor there as well. So it's not as if he was just killing guys with no Kevlar. They were armored up, so a really good job by Taz to get 3 and get out of there with plenty of health and grenades, and smokes it off with the bomb down at the bottom of the ramp. So that's kind of like a checkmate in the round. But I have to credit the patience of a team like Virtus.Pro. They're very disciplined when they have advantages. And
that's one thing that frustrates me the most about casting sometimes, is I seeing people who are so overzealous when they don't have to be, like facing angles and you have such a huge advantage. Like it ruins so many rounds of these top teams. And like when you have that discipline, you're not going for the big like movie footage. Like you can take a couple of frags and get the bomb down and fall back to your team, wait for rotations and play the round properly. That's when you see the best Counter-Strike being played. Yeah,
that is always beautiful to watch when you see everything, just like the real Counter-Strike, just everything played properly. And this time around it's going to be a Galil for NBK. Their money is a little bit stretched, but fast play coming in, it would seem, as they set up around T main. See NBK just trying to move straight out of there, looking for the picks as the nades are coming in. And it's actually going well here for Virtus.Pro as Snacks picks up a frag before the smokes actually get planted. So Nia's even got an opening here as well. He's going to make full advantage of that. Picks off NBK. It's just 2 players left for EnVyUS at the moment as Virtus.Pro are in a well and truly an advantage. Kiyoshima going down now as well, so the bomb is not even close to being planted, and Happy is going to be silenced as well. So a pause coming in from EnVyUS.
This is a tactical pause, I think.
Yeah, it must be.
Well, I say that timeout, maybe not. But it's probably a good time for them just to reassess before this gets too deep. And like you can see the economy there, like they said on this, it's enough for a buy. It wouldn't be a perfect one. Like they'd be able to get AKs, armor, and smokes, obviously. But I think that they want to probably utilize the AWP. VP aren't showing any presence in upper or in inside apart from Taz playing the lower ramp. They haven't really explored the idea of like taking the AWP to upper ramp, peeking out and seeing what who's actually showing presence inside. And like for me, like if you're only playing one M4 inside, that's the weak point. If you're not even playing an AWP there, that's the moment you should be going frag for frag in there and working that a bit more and seeing what you can do. EnVyUS have just stuck to the outside game so far. They're like been executing quite a lot out there, sometimes slow, sometimes fast. Tried it with the AWPs. I'd say sure, we've tried outside, didn't really work. We know Taz is playing alone inside. Let's take a crack at him and see what they can do. That's what I'd be saying in this timeout anyway.
Yeah, it's always quite rough on the T side, especially when it's a much newer iteration of a map as well. You're kind of like working out what to do, and they've lost I think 8 rounds in a row now, so they haven't picked up a single one on their T side. And as you said, it feels like they've tried all the basics. Like we've got the A plays, the picking game. The picking game just doesn't work against Virtus.Pro when they are playing like this because they're just so patient. I mean, they're a team that plays, for example, like 5 rifles on cash, and they're like super good at it. And that means that they're going to take angles where you can't really easily pick them with AWPs, because that's the entire point. You don't want to try to challenge an AWP because it's a disadvantage. So really cool to see that Virtus.Pro holding it down with such discipline. Now, you kind of theoried a little bit how they could get back into it, maybe abuse Taz. Yeah, well, the only presence they've really shown inside is on their ecos, and they've used pistols to go inside and like got kind of destroyed. And I think that's kind of rattled them a little bit from going inside. They probably thought, oh, that's too strong in there, we can't go near it. But for me, like if they just get that kill on that opening kill on Taz, that's the bomb side. Like that's just such heavy presence outside. I think they need to be at least trying to show some sort of initiative outside with some smoke grenades and stuff, just to keep those guys entertained for a bit outside, and then going inside properly, trying to work that one frag on Taz. Here we go, we got Happy. He's going to be the first man towards the upper area, and he's not going to spot anything just yet as Taz is playing at the bottom of smoke, but he's alone, as you said, and the rotation is going to come in. I think it is Snacks going to be able to help him, but the spray down is real. Taz picking up one, and he's just sitting there, still alive for so long, and the support is there in plenty of time. They just can't deal with Taz. He's just standing there. It's like invulnerable almost.
They listened to my tactic, and I'm sorry. I made a bad call. Like, sorry guys, don't ever do that again. That didn't work.
I mean, I think there's other approaches to it. No, like Henry, don't give yourself enough credit.
No, it's just the fact like they went through smoke, right? Like you don't have to rush it so much. You've got 1 minute 45 to play with. Let the CTs. You want to bait out the smokes as well. Like we know on Inferno, like the idea is to bait out the utility from the CTs. That's the aim of the game. When you're running through everything they've got, you haven't even given them a chance to use it. Then it's like you're asking for trouble there, really. Like running through smoke into a guy who's got a silence M4 crouched in the middle of the side. Like he's always going to win that battle, especially when he doesn't have to look at you. Just shoots in one area.
And that's kind of a standard play as well. Just like directly after you smoke, out in the round, just sit behind it. That's really standard, because also being so close to it in that forward position gives you information. So you kind of always want to do it. So yeah, it's definitely maybe a bit of a shock and awe move from EnVyUS to really show their desperation in this situation without really knowing what is going to work. Yeah.
Well, this is kind of slipping away from them now. You can see the utility on them. They've got 2 smoke grenades to play with. They have got the AWP in hand, but it's a really ropey buy. Like, Keo hasn't even got any armor here. He's opted for the actual grenades out of the team. So you can see them. They are trying more for the inside now. I think they've realised the outside thing just isn't going to work for them. And I think they listen to me again. Just wait a little bit longer, then go inside. That's what you need to try and do.
Henry G is actually calling right now.
I'm calling live from the Gfinity Arena into their booth.
Nice. All right. So Henry G with that direct line. Let's see if it pays off this time. Taz able to take down Smith as the push does come in. It's Virtus.Pro kind of work this out. They've got players in place, and they are dealing with them really well as EnVyUS are coming in from the upper area. Happy goes down with the AWP now, and we need just blazing individual plays coming from Shoxy right now, and it's not going to happen. Bomb does get planted, which is almost like an improvement, because it's so rare that they actually even get the bomb down, but Shox dies immediately after it's planted.
Yeah,
so
this is obviously, for me, this map's over now. Like, judging from what we've seen so far, EnVyUS are not going to string 5 rounds in a row together. Like, it's just not going to happen. Virtus.Pro really have done their homework on the CT side, especially. They just seem like they're working very well together. The synergy is there, flowing very nicely. So, like, we can see it is a full buy now. They've lost so many in a row. They've got full buys flowing pretty much every round now. But this is the one. If Virtus.Pro can close this one out, it'll be good for them. Get onto the next map, save the energy. But let's see what EnVyUS have got in store for this round.
Like that little boost there in the CT connector area, but not going to find anything with it just yet. So fast play, can they make this this quick pace work out? Bomb is going to get planted by MBK. Oh, Neo just barely denies it. That's so important. That is so awesome there for Virtus.Pro. Now it's just Shoxy left over, who's creeping in the middle of the trains. They haven't spotted him just yet. There it is, there's the spot, and they're all surrounding him. He's going to get knifed down by Pasha. What a way to end map number 1 between Virtus.Pro and EnVyUS. And yeah, you can really see. Actually, this is really cool for Virtus, because this means that, you know, we've got rid of Nuke, now trainers in the map pools. They have shown a really strong cobblestone, really strong train. Their overpass is actually very good.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're actually leading the way with some of their aggressive strategies on that map. And of course, they're really good at Mirage. Their cache is very good. They have a really good map pool at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think they've got one of the deepest map pools out of all the teams here.
Agreed.
Out of the tier 1 teams, at least. Like, they seem to be, apart from Dust 2, perhaps I'd say it was probably one of their weaker maps. But apart from that, like, everything else is like really, really strong. And like, they have such an advantage over some teams. Like, they know they can kind of dictate the maps they want to play by just having that huge map pool.
Yeah, it's really impressive, I've got to say. And I wasn't sure how to feel about this series going into it, because like, who's going to win this? I felt it was like either 2-0 Virtus.Pro or 2-0 EnVyUS, because I just didn't know how Train would go. Yeah,
well, that's the first time I've actually casted Train. I've watched a couple of games before this, but it's like we said before, like, everything's being defined still. It's very hard to say who's going to be great on it and who's not, and whose play style it suits. But like, I feel like Virtus.Pro kind of struggled a little bit on T side, but their CT was phenomenal. Like, they really stepped it up. Like I said, the synergy between them was really fantastic, and it really showed how well they are as a unit.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to take a quick little break, so stay with us here at Gfinity Masters. We'll see you in a moment.
I'm on it.
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 All right, we're back. Welcome back, ladies and gents. Here, of course, we have a very exciting match on our hands. We're going into Cash, and that's really exciting because this is a great map for Virtus.Pro. I think yesterday I think they played this against Cloud9, and they were running a just a 5-rifler setup pretty much the entire match. Neo picked up an AWP on TT side maybe like twice, and then that was it. So that's quite cool that they're kind of that they show so much skill on that map, and their setups are just so strong, and only Virtus.Pro can play it like Virtus.Pro.
Well, this is the thing. Like, this is such a better match for us to cast, I think, as we know both of these teams are incredibly strong on D-Cash. Like, it's really hard for me to call. Like, I've watched a lot of Virtus.Pro on CT Cash especially, and I think that their setup defines how you should play CT Cash. I really think it's perfect. The way they control the vents, and like they have the mid control the whole time. There's very fast rotations, and they seem to have perfect A contention. Like, I feel like they do very well. At the same time, EnVyUS are exactly the same. Like, they've got like positions named after their players on the map and stuff like that. So like, you feel like this could go either way. If you had to call it, where would you say it was going?
Why do you do this to me, Henry G?
Why
do you do this to me,
the
man?
same way, so that's why I put you on the spot.
I have to say I've always been a fan of Virtus.Pro on this map, and there's just so many kind of iconic things about it as well. Like Neo is really solid when he does pick up the AWP, just holding down B and keeping it safe from the very annoying lurker player that tries to open it up. And as well, we have such a cool situation with Snax, who's returned to the vent spot. They actually played with Snax.
He's so strong though, isn't he? Like, when you see him in those vent spots, even when he gets out Molotov and teams think he's clear, like, he's got that smoke, he somehow drops just outside the vent, so he doesn't even smoke himself out. Like, he just kind of stays within there, and then like, the teams run straight past him.
Around,
It's crazy how good he's like defined that position to be so strong. There's no way of really getting him out of there unless you just beat him in an aim battle.
The thing about it as well is that why it's even more dangerous with Snax is because one of the cool things with Snax, and you know, when with Mirage, right, Virtus.Pro great Mirage team, they put Snax on the B apps, and that's like usually a position where like Pronax plays there for Fnatic, because it's like, well, he's a leader, he's not much action there. They put Snax there when he's a new player into the lineup, and then they realize, hey, actually, this guy is actually really sick at retaking A when stuff goes badly at A, and so we're going to keep him there to actually retake A, and that's exactly what he does on this map. He stays in the vents, and if there's an A problem where I don't know, the bomb's ticking away as a 1-on-2, you better believe Snax is going to win that 1-on-2 coming in on the rotate. So he's just so mobile everywhere, and it's definitely really important. And but that said, you know, Pasha's super good in middle and with the mid aggressions, and then Biali's so strong around the forklift area. For me, I've got to go with Virtus.Pro here.
Okay, cool. Well, I think I have to agree with you. Like I said, I believe in their Cash so much. I think it's such a nice. It's just so clearly defined how they do it. It's not random at all. You don't feel like they're kind of just second guessing the map. Like, they're just so assertive of what they're doing. They know what they need to do. Their setups are so clean. That's why I think it's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be it's probably going to go the distance. I'd probably say it's going to be around the 16-12, 16-13 mark, but it's going to be a really good game, I feel. And like, we've just got the knife run out of the way. I can see the teams now. We're going to have Virtus.Pro starting on CT, which like obviously is the preferred side on Cash. It's like the side you always try to go for. You want to post a really strong score here. Something like in the region of 11 rounds would be fantastic for them. So it looks like we're just about getting ready to line up. The players are just sorting something out before they go live, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. In terms of the pistol rounds, what do you see EnVyUS bringing to the table? Do you see it going to be a slow, methodical approach, or do you see them like utilising spawns and going straight into the bomb site?
Well, it's always very interesting right now because this is just one of those spots where it can be a bit gambly, because essentially the metagame's in place. The A retake style of pistol opening for the CTs, where you have like a stack towards middle and B, and you leave like one guy maybe with a kit on like the car who just spots for the A take, and he's like, okay, we'll let you plant the bomb. And sometimes what we've seen, actually, I've seen recently when I was watching an EnVyUS match, what they actually decided to do was actually, or maybe I think it's actually Titan, so credit to the smarts of existence, he actually decided to rush A main with like 3 players and Squeaky as well. So they just completely cleared that out that area, because that's like plays against the idea that, hey, you know, A is for free typically, but then, you know, that was the response. So just completely playing against the meta game in that sense. So we might see both teams just play at super standard. Sometimes that happens, or we might see something a bit fresh. I'm not sure.
I'll tell you what I like seeing at the moment. I feel like when you're CT, like just doing those pushes and stuff like that is great just to get information. You see a lot of teams like sending 2 players into B just to kind of flash into the B storage area and just see whether they've got any representation there in terms of a terrorist there. It's like, not a lot of the time, like when a T is going for a heavy A tactic on a pistol, like they won't even send anyone to B storage. You kind of just get that intel straight away and just get the team falling back away and holding middle. So this would be great to see how this goes down. Like, it looks like they're going to be setting themselves up for a mid-take here. The crisscross smoke's coming out, and it's going to have a big hold on their hands with VP.
Oh, and Snacks is deep there as well. Did he get spotted? I don't think he did. No, Snacks is at the back. No one's seeing Snacks. Picks up 2 fast frags with that USP, and Taz comes in as well. Oh my goodness, they had no idea. And now it's Kiyoshima and Happy against the world. They are split up. The bomb is down in middle. What on earth are they going to do about this? Oh, just Happy left, and Shox is leading for them at the moment. So they switched it up recently, but Snacks, man, we were bigging him up before, and
yeah, like I just feel like he's the king of the middle area. Like that vent position, like he does play, like it's so like important because it's obviously the gateway between B and middle for me is the biggest choke point on the map. It's the part of the map you want to be controlling as terrorists, just to kind of open the map up and leave the CTs guessing as to what's going on. That's going to be so important in this game, I think. Like his input for their CT side is so massive, and we can see they've actually opted for a nice. I like this. There's actually rifles coming in for a CT setup for once. I've got a couple of MP7s there, but that situation obviously this is going to be a pretty clean hold, I feel, for VP. We can see EnVyUS are opting for the Tech 9s and armor. Not much in terms of utility here. They've got 1 flashbang and 1 smoke. It's going to be difficult for them to get out to the bomb site with that.
Yeah, I'd probably imagine they're going to go for the smoke on between toxic barrels and the red container.
Yeah.
That would be my prediction. Or they can try to smoke the CT main area. I guess those are the 2 most effective single smokes for a push, whether it's A or mid. And they have started to set up players around Squeaky as well. So you would expect that the play will arrive on the A bomb site. Now, Bjarly is there in his usual positions around Forklift. He's very good at this, but he's about to have quite a lot of players charging into him. He's got support from Taz as well. So as EnVyUS go and position for this push, I have to see how effective it's really going to be. Taz is, oh, he's going to have a double angle with Bjarly. This is going to get messy for EnVyUS, surely. In they go, and they get completely sprayed down. So that is that.
Yeah,
basically.
Very technical from them. Like that's the advantage to having the FAMASs as opposed to the MP7s. Sometimes you've just got that bullet penetration to go through multiple enemies, and as they came out that door, then it's got absolutely mowed down there, even with the armor on board. So that's going to be another clean sweep for VP there. And have they even dropped a kill yet?
No.
They haven't. So 2 rounds in, and no one's even died yet. So it's going very, very well for them indeed.
All right, and they've got 2 SMGs still and 2 FAMAS, so pretty cost-efficient opening, that's for sure. And EnVyUS just nothing to do but to eco. And with everything going as it has so far, it really feels like Virtus.Pro are just in a good vibe at the moment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. After that momentum they've carried on from the CT side of Train, like being that dominant on the side of on any Counter-Strike map is going to leave you feeling really good going into the second map. Your bonding as a team is flowing really well. Like they can probably in quite high spirits. Like this opening round couldn't have gone. These opening couple of rounds couldn't have gone any better for them. So they're in a fantastic position now. They seem to keep this momentum flowing.
Oh, that's nice as well. We get the long-range pick there from Snacks at the back of Checkers. And that's going to remove the player and B storage. So they could even try to push it if they want, but they know that there's pistols in play. They know that they can't have anything but just Glocks and no Kevlar. So
yeah, no bombs been planted here at all. No kills being made. It's just a full Glock. I think they've got a couple of PT50s in there, but nothing at all going to be happening here. They might go 3 rounds without actually getting a kill here.
Yeah, looking like that's going to happen. Just a Happy left over. He's spotted, and he will get eliminated. So no kills still. 3 rounds in. And it's not so common, I don't think, that this actually happens.
It's like actual Counter-Strike happening. Like when you win the pistol round, there's nothing stressful happening. Actually getting 3 rounds for once. Like it's actually quite refreshing. This is reminding me of my youth.
And they actually have so much money built up because of the extra kill reward from these SMGs, but they're slowly discarding them. We see Bjarly has an M4 now as well, but is it a fast mid take here? A little execute into middle to get that control, but Snacks is doing his usual tricks, up close and personal, picking up the kills. Very nice challenge there from Virtus.Pro to hold on to middle, but Shoxy's still in there. But they have been flanked by Snacks, who's moved all the way in now. So Shox below the boost with no support and the bomb on his back. It's going to make this very, very difficult indeed. Happy has to come out huge with something here. It's just a huge slippery slope for them at this point, and Shox can't get it done. Virtus.Pro just all over them, and that's the first death, but just one.
Yeah, well, this is what I was talking about, that dominant CT side they have. Like, you can't get a shot in edgeways here. Like, I think they're going to have to go for something like slowing it down, waiting for the initial smokes to kind of die down a little bit, and then getting the map control, pushing someone back, like even if it's getting an AWPer up onto the boosted boxes, trying to just push the CTs back. We know Snacks plays in the vents. We have that intel. Like we know like Pasha plays around the mid box as well. Like you just need to find a way to smoke them out, make them panic a little bit, fall back to the bomb sites, and then we need to control it from that point. I feel like that first gun was a little bit too fast. It boosted someone up trying to get the initial frag there. I just think like just slowing it down and just kind of trying to play off their kind of the mentality they know they're enforcing.
Yeah, we have the fully incendiaries as well, which is thanks to having so many clean rounds, it's all the incendiaries, and that's so powerful, especially to chuck it up on the boost as well when you think a push is going to come in mid. Then the push gets staggered, and then you get an easy engagement as CTs. So there's everything for Virtus.Pro to play with. They got all the utility in their favor. So EnVyUS just looking for that timing to go over the top. Here it is. Go in, and no one ready to face them just yet. Long ranges here for Virtus.Pro, but Taz by white box. Excellent stuff there from them, not missing a beat on the shots. And Taz knows there's likely someone else here. Shoxy is there, and he's just gonna get the jump, spray. Welcome to Counter-Strike, Henry G.
Yeah.
Jump and spray.
Jump and spray for the win. Well, there we go. That is another pretty easy round there for VP. Well, obviously, it was just onto a little eco there. So it's going to be 5-0. Difficult situation, but we have to remind everyone that this is a CT map. This will happen and can happen quite a lot. The EnVyUS are by no means out of this. Now, they've picked up the AWP, a change of approach here. Smith will be going for this opening frag. If you can find it, that is such a strong tactic. If you can get that spawn and get to there before the smoke even blooms, it really opens the map up for you, and it's something most teams will go for if they get the spawn for it.
There's a lot of nasty timing picks on this map. You can even get really sick time picks towards checkers if you get that really sick B spawn and catch the guy dropping down from heaven in B. And it's quite rare you see that though. But Taz is the man up close this time. Snacks is in his usual spot, the vents. And Virtus.Pro with their standard setup, despite losing Pasha early on. But they haven't sacrificed middle B control. It's actually Bialy who has the extra added pressure of not having Pasha for support, who would normally probably be around the A site with him. Bit of damage exchange there. Taz going to go in here. He wants to even it up, take a big risk, and there's going to actually be a trade. Neo picking up a kill towards the B storage area, and Bialy now fending off Happy from A main. So EnVyUS need to combine their efforts here, but Shoxy's up on shot. This is massive. They're going to spot over Bialy. Knows that the A bomb site is clean, and Shox is going to continue the dominance, moving around the corner there with that AK-47, spotting Neo, trying to toy with him, just shouldering the angle, but great headshot there from Shoxy. Now it's on Snacks, the clutch master, and he won't get the first frag. What a round there from Shox, and it's 3 kills for him. And picks up the AWP as well.
Yeah, it's very important for like Smiths to get that spawn. I think that was a great call from them, just trying to just break the momentum a little bit, get that first opening frag before the round's essentially even begun. And it's almost impossible for the CTs to even predict that's going to happen. Like the meta is to go out, smoke main, and you're kind of safe there. But if they get that spawn, there's not really much you can do about it. I say that again, and Smiths looked like this is what normally should happen. He does get smoked off before he gets it. That's what normally should happen. But it's going to be back to pick and play here for EnVyUS. They're going to have to see what's available on the map. They're like going out in a kind of classic 2-1-2 here, kind of getting control, working out what the CTs are doing, seeing if they're going to be pushing them or being aggressive, working out what utility's been used, and then they can go into an execute from there.
I have to say, Snacks' position is really, really bizarre with the AWP. I don't think you ever see this with the AWP, because you can use it in so many angles on this map that are really strong. You'll never see it here.
Even if he shot someone through that vent, it wouldn't even kill them, would it? Like a body shot with the vent.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually.
Yeah,
just be penetration.
That's why it's a strange position. Like you wouldn't even kill someone if you shot through the vent.
And I kind of like the idea that he can actually drop into checkers, but even still, that's a very exposed position. You're very forwards. If they're pushing, you're going to get in a lot of trouble. But Neo's got his back, as we can see. Does take down an aggressor. And MBK is looking for the AWP player that he suspects should be there, but there is none just yet. Bialy able to lock down A main. He's been doing that so well. Every time they try to challenge for these picks, they just get shut down. You can see Snacks is going to get that headshot. Nice. Who cares? Snacks coming into play, the double for him, and MBK is left over with his AWP. So, well, I think that was a big middle finger to us from Snacks there.
Yeah, fair play. If you headshot them through the vent, that
Yeah.
probably works as well. So, yeah, that's probably what his whole plan was the whole time, is to headshot them with the
Very
ult.
nice.
There we go. MBK left with the AWP here. 12 seconds on the round. Like, the CTs have got enough economy to hunt him down. They'll probably just be waiting till that clock runs down just before they all burst out the bomb site here. But if you look at the radar, they're edging ever closer. They know exactly where he is. And as the time runs out now, they want to kill him right now. Then he gets no cash whatsoever. They can find him, and it's not going to happen. And he's managed to save that off. Nice work from him. You can see the look on Taz's face. He looks like, where was he? Did we find him?
Guys.
Yeah.
Anyone see that?
But there we go. So it's going to be a little bit of a force fight here from EnVyUS. Like, they don't want to get too deep down this rabbit hole of just forcing buys of Tech-9s and utility. Like, fair play, they did save the AWP, but I'd prefer them just to do a full save. But like, they might be able to convert this into something if Smiths can find another pick here. But like, looking at the way he's smoked out, it's going to be another 20 seconds before he can make his next move.
Oh, that nade.
That nade, though.
That nade just... It's like Smith has a magnet. And that nade found him. 55 health left. Bialy at the back of the site. So he's changed his position. He's normally found towards the kind of upper catwalk, outer catwalk thing. And we have Bialy mixing it up a little bit. Now they are searching for him. They know he's got to be here lurking somewhere. One of these positions. But he's in the corner behind Squeak, next to the quad boxes. Now, in comes the execute from EnVyUS. How much damage can Bialy get done? There's kill number 1. If he can get anything else here, that's going to be massive for his team. There's the second one, and he's done his job already. Pasha picks up Shox, who was trying to move through middle. Not going to happen. Smith's going in to try to get it done here by himself, but it's looking really, really troubled at the moment. Just missing these flick shots. And 4 players still left for Virtus.Pro, and that's all that they need to do. Just crunch into the remainder of the EnVyUS, and 7-1 is now the score. That was a really nice play from Bialy.
Yeah, that was top stuff from them. You can see this is what I was talking about. These forced buys when you don't even have enough smokes or flashes to even get out onto the bomb site. They smoked off one area, but then it's left quad completely open. It allows players like playing in the MBK position from quad. It's just spraying this to them from the forklifts there. There was no real anything stopping. There was nothing stopping them whatsoever there. Now they're going to be forced into another Rico here. And like, although there's still plenty of rounds to play for, like 7-1 scoreline, we need to start thinking now. What can we do to stop this impenetrable defense?
Yeah, they need some kind of an answer here. They've
so far the only thing they've had so far is getting a good spawn and picking with the AWP. That seems like the only idea they've really had to get themselves into a round.
I mean, typically you would find a way, whether it's like a fast middle take, or a delayed one with maybe the wall of smokes or the deepest smokes, or using the executes, like having the Molotovs into sandbags and stuff. You'd find a way to take middle as a tease. So then you can either B split from it or A split from it. We haven't seen a proper mid control from them once yet.
I think you're absolutely right there. Yeah, using those crisscross smokes from the mid warehouse, blocking off the mid vision at least. Like, we know Snack's will be at the vents and Pasha plays the backup from A. Like, using those smokes alone, you isolated Smack straight away into the vents. At that point, if you have 2 people ready on the boost, flash over, get mid control, even just push him out of the vents with a Molotov you like. We know he can kind of counter that, but at least you put him on the back foot, get that mid control, and then you can go from there. Like right now, they're not controlling any of the map before they go into a bomb site. They're showing some presence, but they're not pushing the CTs back at all.
Oh, actually, we have an interesting setup here. Oh, run boost
I like this.
for the... can I actually pull it off here? We're going to get the backwards run. Yes, we are. Oh, no. They miss it, unfortunately, but... Again, these grenades are really just nailing Smiths. Poor Smiths. 66 health from this time, and Bialy on top of the red container. Now, this does look like they want to... They could potentially go for a bit of a fake here. It depends. They have all the options available to them, but they don't have middle. It seems like they just respect the middle control here for Virtus.Pro, not challenging it all that much. And in comes the push, the execute onto this A bomb site. Bialy does get flashed, completely blinded, and Shoxy opening up with 2 massive entry frags. Pasha finally gets the trade frag, but EnVyUS finally with an advantage of their own to call another hit towards B and get them and get themselves that bomb planted. But Pasha is looking strong now. He's got himself a good position too at the back of the bomb site, and his teammates have plenty of time to rotate. Pasha buying so much here for his team, and just backing away safely, keeping himself alive as Snacks comes into play and pulls off the frag onto MBK. So happy now in this situation. Not going to go his way. Neo picks it up, and EnVyUS, they had what they needed there. They got the entry frag. They're on fast onto the site. Shox got 2 kills immediately. And
but still, they're not... At the beginning of the round, they're not keeping the CTs anywhere, or they need to like possibly work a pick before they go into the executions. Right now, they're going into the bomb site. They might be getting entry frag, but the fact that it's just like Tannoid straight out that's what they're coming to. The CTs are able to rotate and back up so quickly, and you see like a full-on rush coming from like with Tech 9 and Armor as well here. I'm not sure I'm a fan of this. They maybe if they can get this first frag, it might actually work out for them, seeing as the CTs haven't really got that much control over it right now.
And MBK's taking 3 shots here, and they're going to actually sandwich these players, so it is actually going to pay off as the distraction the chaos is really paying off for EnVyUS, and this time they've made it work with the Tech 9s and that fast pace. Snax knows he's not going to pull this one off, and he's going to fall back with that AWP, but their money's got to be really good at the moment, and I think in the previous round the short just wasn't smoked off correctly, and that's why Pasha was just able to take like one fast frag, and he's like, wait, maybe I can just get in here, I can get into a position after that frag, and then that position gave him another one, and then he was just going to be broken, so perhaps a few tricks being missed there by EnVyUS. Oh, this is brave. Are you serious? No. Oh my god, no way. I cannot believe he even would think to go for that. Just trying to ninja it. He almost got it, Henry.
That could have been so sick. That would have been like the end of the game right there. The arguments that would have ensued in EnVyUS would have just ruined everything. That was like...
But where did that come from? He just...
I don't know, like I was kind of just thinking, I wasn't really watching, I thought he was just saving. And all of a sudden he's like on the bomb defusing with 1 second remaining. That could have actually been a thing.
That was such
really cool.
a good fake on the save that even fooled us.
Yeah, we weren't even watching.
Even though we're watching it.
Yeah, so they've actually mixed things up here now. Pasha actually picking up the auto sniper here. This works so well on the A-bomb site because you obviously have the option to spam into the squeaky door there and through the smokes that get dropped. So this could work out incredibly well for them. If Bialy can just kind of get the aggro for him and kind of cause a little bit of distraction, like here we go, this is what I'm talking about. This should be it. Now he's caused a distraction now. They won't really be aware the auto sniper's there, and he could have a free roam as soon as they execute onto him.
And getting out to middle, Taz is a perfect position. They're not going to check sandbags. There's too many spots to check. They commit towards short, and it's the trade coming in from MBK that will be good. And now middle is controlled by EnVyUS, and the problem is though that no damage has been done towards A. They could really have used a frag on either Bialy or Pasha, but it's not going to happen. And MBK gets eliminated on short as well. So they don't have anyone on B. But still, there's 3 players left for Virtus.Pro, so they're kind of confident here. And Pasha's on the angle. He gets the kill with the Scar 22 easily, and 10-2 is now the score.
So that after winning that second round, it obviously resets their money. But the economy doesn't look too bad. They can force this. It will be a force day. Like you can see, there's a scout coming out. There is an AWP in hand, but it's going to be a bit of a ropey round, to say the least. Like there's not much in terms of grenades there, but we can see what gun Smith actually running there. He's not gone Glock, has he?
That's what the Averlay says, just the Glock.
He can't have just gone Glock. That's not a thing.
I think there's a scout.
Thank God for that.
Oh my goodness. Alright, so a bit of a normal round coming out here from EnVyUS. They got Shox just trying to run a bit of a distraction towards the B storage area. And he's actually going to bait out some smokes as well. So EnVyUS now going for another play into this A-bomb site. There's a Molotov for quad. They're looking for the player that would have crossed if they had been in that position, but no one is there. So they've eliminated that possibility. And in with another Molotov now to keep the pressure up and to discover where these players are actually standing. And it's still Bialy at forklift. This guy is so strong here. There's the spray. Only gets one. Great trade there coming in from MBK as they push on into the bomb site. Pasha's on the angle though. And there's the shot with the Scar. And that's going to be it. Bomb is dropped and the players, Virtus.Pro all in position. But here comes Shox. Oh, he wants to get closer before he makes a shot.
That's good.
He wants to make sure it's a short thing here. And oh, the timing. Oh my goodness. Neo coming in at the perfect moment. But he's now alone against Kiyoshima and Happy as that bomb still needs to get planted, and he knows that. There's a quick one-on-one, but he won't get the frag just yet. Bomb down, and here is potentially the double P coming in from EnVyUS. Just playing with him, and there it is. Good stuff. Happy gets the wall bang frag, and EnVyUS pick up their 3rd round, but it's really hard for them at the moment still.
Yeah, no, that kind of force buy worked out for them there. Good play on the A-bomb side. Managed to cut, like, there's so many different setups CTs can run, and I think EnVyUS are choosing the right time to go to the A-bomb side, and they haven't really got that much presence there. They're leaving Bialy there and by that forklift position. And unless he makes his first frag there, it's going to be very difficult for the CTs to retake that side once the smokes go down. We saw Pasha actually pick up an auto-sniper kill, but from that, it was very difficult for them to hold. And it's,
we've got 3 guys towards A at the moment. Oh, no, sorry, that's just the smoke of the decoy in there. So 10-3, Virtus.Pro Nice crossfire set up here between Taz and Bjarni. So really, they're constantly mixing things
they're
up.
Adapting to what's going on. Like, they've lost a couple of rounds in A now, so I think they're just trying to shut down Envy while they think they can get their rounds.
Oh, and there's the trade in from Bjarni. And in fact, he doesn't get the player that's weak. He takes a full-on frag on Smiths, and now it's a 3-on-3 coming into play as middle is still controlled by Snacks. So if there is to be a short split onto that A-bomb site, he's going to be able to understand what is happening and beat it out. But they're still trying to get through A main, and they have to. They're committed. The bomb is down there, and that's what Virtus.Pro are counting on. Snacks he wins it there with the MP9, and now it's going to have to be down to a massive play from Shox. He won't deliver this time, and another round goes to Virtus.Pro. And it feels like, Henry, that EnVyUS just have so much respect towards the B and mid defense of Virtus.Pro, and to be fair, the positions that they play are good for that, but maybe they're giving them too much respect. We're not seeing the Molotovs into the vent, towards the sandbags, towards the smoke. We're still not seeing any execution in mid.
This isn't what the EnVyUS were used to seeing on this map. Like, it seems like they've been like stunned a little bit. Maybe that train game's kind of knocked their confidence a little bit. I'm not really sure what's going on here. They keep focusing on A. It looks like they actually is going towards there straight away again. And although they've got a couple of rounds there, like this shouldn't work out for them really. Like, well, they actually managed to pick up the entry frag there. This might go either way now.
And a great range there from Taz, found by that M4, and he's going to get maybe a second one, but Patcher comes in from the side as well. There's good positioning here for Virtus.Pro. 2 players left, 18 health collectively on 2 of them, so that's not anything to shout about. And Snacks comes in from the flank, spots 1 player, and unfortunately no HE grenade for him. But it's just Shox left there, and he gets discovered. And there it is, Snacks going to take the kill. 12-3 first half there, Virtus.Pro looking completely dominant. But again, the big question mark is, EnVyUS, it felt like they gave up too easily on middle.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, it felt like such a quick half. Like, it just kind of flashed before us. Like, there were such quick rounds. There was no time for them to actually build up into something. There was no like narrative to the rounds. Normally, you'll see teams like boost a couple of people up and like build to something. Like they won't show straight away. They'll use smokes, flash over, have a couple of people going out middle, a couple of people utilizing the boost position, and from that point you get a kill or you take mid control, and then that's when the CTs don't have intel on you. Then so you've got 2 options.
So the CTs usually will just throw 1 smoke on the entrance, but like you say, if you have the Molotov in the vent and all the smokes, all you have to do then is throw like a pop flash in, so then have players looking right and left as there's 2 just sitting on the boost, and it's like a perfect execute in. It's usually very effective, so surprising, but perhaps EnVyUS are going to have that pistol victory. We'll have to see the setup. They've actually got players towards A right now, so, and they're going to push A main also, so quick info. They know that it's not going to be an A rush, but there's decoys all over the place from Virtus.Pro, which is kind of nice to see actually.
Yeah. I think the decoy is definitely underrated. I think that's going to come into the game in the next year or so, like people utilising that properly.
And also then just starting to just shoot randomly themselves, just to play with the decoys, so they just never can really know.
Yeah.
But 3 players still on A for EnVyUS, and 2 very defensive on B. Not super common, but it is going to be happy that picks up the first frag. Now the push comes in from these terrorists. Virtus.Pro looking for that bomb plant. Not going to happen just yet. Great stuff here so far from EnVyUS. And Snacks tries to get something done. He's on position on the bomb site, but they all get eliminated. Looks very strong there for EnVyUS. Nice setup, nice execution, and they will start off with a nice economy. Yeah,
just to make it clear, like that EnVyUS are by no means out of this game.
Yeah.
Now they've won the pistol. Like, although they've got a massive mountain to climb, there's absolutely no reason why they can't do what Virtus.Pro to them straight back. It's a very CT-sided map, and the Ts do have to work hard to get rounds. As long as they don't make any silly mistakes on these next couple of rounds, we can see Virtus.Pro have opted for armor and a scout there as well. So they are looking to win this one and kind of get back into the economy. But let's see how this one pans out as they execute on today's side here.
Okay, we're going to have good positions here. MBK going to go down, though. He does drop the Molotov before that happens, but wow, these frags coming in very quickly now. EnVyUS push back on the defense, and Happy will not be able to weather the storm of Polish players as they arrive onto that A-bomb site. In comes Shox now, just really smart smoke there off Forklift, but smart smokes from the terrorists as well, as Shoxy goes down to the MP9 of Snacks. And here goes Kiyoshima. Can't win that duel, and Neo comes out on top to give Virtus.Pro around, and that is really crippling. Couldn't have gone worse for EnVyUS.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right there. Look how they're up against the ropes now. this might be the moment you think, oh, do we need a timeout? Because I'm not really sure what's going to happen here.
Yeah,
like,
they have to basically...
They're going to have to try and do what just happened to them, do it straight back. But it's going to be so difficult. Like, as Ts, you can just focus on one bomb site and just hope for the best and get out. If you make the frag, you get the bomb down. CTs, you kind of have to just guess where the Ts might be going and then base it on that. But it looks like they've actually opted for a pretty normal setup here. It's like a 2-1-2. But let's see how it pans out for them. I'm not really sure what they can do with it. Like, as long as Virtus.Pro play it properly and clear out the choke points, they should be okay. This kill is going to be important.
And there you go. We're going to have Neo just going out by himself on the lonesome. And you got to give a question to that.
Yeah,
those kinds of moves in rounds like this.
It's such a big round in the end, like closing the game out and you're like going and dying by yourself and not even having a teammate there.
There's no need for it, I think, but Happy, he's now pushed in around the side of Squeak for his team, so they're going to have some good info now. They've eliminated so many positions because of Happy. They can start rotating. We're already seeing the rotate coming in, but is it going to be fast enough? Virtus.Pro quickly up on the bomb site. The jumping MP9 is going to secure the kill from Snacks and Bialy. Lots of good work done here on the entry for Virtus.Pro. Just Happy in for the back end, MBK as well with the scout. And there's not a lot he can do against 4 players with that bomb ticking away and no kit to speak of either. So yeah, this is looking very grim for them. An exit frag found by MBK as they try to get out of there, but challenge is going to keep coming. But a great shot there from MBK, but it's small consolation at this point.
Yeah, he's actually quite famous these days with these jumping scout shots. I think he's probably one of the best people with it. Like he's found the perfect positions to actually utilize that scout. It's going to be a shame we don't get to see EnVyUS get back into this one, as I'd actually like to think they're one of the best CT teams on this map. But with the scoreline being what it is and the fact they just did a force buy there, 14-4, and they've got like $2,000 between them. Like, you've got to question what they can actually do to get back into this. Like, do they eco and try and draw, like go for the next gun run and go for the draw? Or do they do another one of those sloppy buys there? So they're going for their scout buy here.
Hey, there's overtime, so...
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
yeah.
They've gone kind of all in here, like, with the scouts. They're kind of hoping they're going to get this one.
Yeah, I think it's actually can be quite smart here. Low percentage, but they need to get themselves back in this right now. There's no rounds to play with, but it's Pro on the brink, on the precipice of winning this match, and we're going to have the push in from Happy now, taking those big risks as they have to. Now we've got Snacks just turning the corner, and he will find Happy, and we'll dispatch him easily. Now it's just 2 members left for EnVyUS, and they're putting again everything into these rounds, and they're really trying to abuse the jumping hitboxes that are so unreliable at the moment. So it's actually good to see EnVyUS are trying to abuse the what some would consider the broken things in the game. And Smith now is going to find himself at the mercy of Taz and his rifle. So we're going to have a match point here for Virtus.Pro, and a 2-0 here from Virtus.Pro. That's I think many would not have expected such a dominant performance from them, but hey, they had. I
thought this map was going to be really close. I thought it was going to be on a knife edge as to who won it. I feel like getting CT first for VP was incredibly important. They just carried on that momentum from the CT train they picked up in the last map. And it just carried on here. Like, they were just so decisive, and I didn't fall for any of the well, to be fair, there wasn't much to fall for. It was just like simple A takes that they had to defend. It wasn't really working for EnVyUS at all.
Oh no, Smith gave away his position there, so he won't get a quick kill for EnVyUS either. So they are losing men pretty rapidly at this point. I think one thing worth noting is that about the T side, and we're talking about middle and so on, they switched caller to Shocks. So
okay,
this could be a very big difference in the calling from Happy and Shocks on this map in particular.
Happy was the caller before, right? So moving to him, maybe Shocks' approach is a lot less tactical compared to Happy's. Maybe Shocks is going for the all-out fragging, picking abilities, where Happy would kind of approach with a more tactical insight.
Absolutely, it's very, very possible. I'm sure we're going to get the answers soon enough, but at this point, it's not worked out on cash for them. And we saw also they struggled on T side of Train heavily, much more so than Virtus.Pro did. And they're about to make this happen now. It's just Happy left with his 5/7 armor. And it's a pretty harsh reality for him. Right, to save this, I just have to kill 5 players from Virtus.Pro. They all have rifles, and I've got a 5/7. And the bomb's down, and I don't have a kit, by the way. So,
like,
so
what's the plan here?
Doesn't get worse than this position right now for Happy.
5/7, no kit, 5 men to kill, 35 seconds to do it.
Yeah, I think
it could happen.
Yeah. It could happen. It could happen, Henry. But it will be 16-4 victory there for Virtus.Pro as they take 2 maps against EnVyUS. The train looked very good for them as well, especially their CT side. But again, perhaps it calls into question the calling for their T sides as it's now moved to shocks. I'm sure we'll that'll be a discussion to be had by the analysts as we see.
That was looking really strong from VP. If they can carry on that form throughout the rest of the tournament, they're a serious contender to win this. Like, that looked really, really positive.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah.
Like, really clinical. Like, no real sign of trouble. Like, their T side of train wasn't the strongest I've ever seen, but like the CT side more than made up for it. Such a dominant showing from them, and I'm really impressed by them for that.
One thing I really like about them as well is that they play really good, just basic Counter-Strike, and they don't really make some of these errors on trading and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They usually they have good trading game. Their fundamentals of CS are very good. They don't. It's quite rare that a player will get cocky and over peak or something like that. It doesn't really happen so much with Virtus.Pro. So when they're on their game, like, hitting the shots on top of this, the skill ceiling on some of these players is so high that then things get really crazy. That's where the Virtus.Pro thing came from. It's that when they're all hitting their shots at once, it gets ridiculous because then they do get aggressive, but they do it in a smart way. So very impressed by Virtus.Pro indeed.
Well, we know Virtus.Pro weren't a fan of the boosts last time at Gfinity. It feels like from that performance there, they're more than comfortable now.
Oh yeah, they're so huge now.
For me, if I could change my first prediction, I'd say Virtus.Pro would probably be up there now. That was so strong from them, and I'm really impressed.
Absolutely. So I'm sure a lot more to look forward to from them in the coming moments. Anything you want to say about EnVyUS as well?
For me, like the whole thing was like that train. I'm not going to look too much into it. Like we said, it's a new map, and everyone's still learning it and finding the way they want to play it. Like they did have a couple of good moments on there. There was some good insights there. They have done their homework, but for me, the real disappointment was Cash. Like the fact that they didn't really bring anything tactically to the table in terms of mid control, or even I don't think they actually did like a B take at all. Like they just concentrated on A for 15 rounds straight, and it was quite frustrating in a way. Like if I'd watched that back as a captain, I'm thinking, okay, we did something wrong here. Something was fundamentally wrong with our approach.
All right, well, I guess we'll have to see what the analysts think over at the Gfinity desk. So take it away, Scott.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Well, they did exactly what they needed to do. EnVyUS was sitting perfect. All 3 points 3 times, 9 points total, and Virtus.Pro had to do that. They had to catch up to them, so that now gives them 6 points. They've got one more match, Cloud9. That'll be our next match here. That's going to then tie them with EnVyUS. So again, they did what they had to do to get into this possible tie-breaking craziness.
Indeed, yeah. I was sitting here watching the screen and saw that the EnVyUS player was sitting and laughing, quite pleased about themselves. But as you said, this can turn out to be a tiebreaker, and the round difference is not looking too good for them. I think they had like plus 35 earlier, but now I think they lost 16-4, right? The last map, which was Cash. They might very well be safe, but ultimately Virtus.Pro came out on top, and I think it did definitely help them that they had more experience on train. Guess that EnVyUS threw it in as some kind of wild card. One way of thinking could also be that, okay, we don't want to waste or show more. We feel so comfortable, we're going to at least win one map, we're going to make it to first in the group and go into tomorrow's playoffs. So let's do not show our strategies on a certain map, so we play train because we feel so comfortable. But ultimately, they played quite weak, They had a strong CT side, 10-5, despite losing the pistol round. But Virtus.Pro, they kind of struggled through, got 5 rounds as T, swapped to CT and kind of, closed it down. I think it was a lot of experience in Taz, Neo, and the other good old, trained foxes, they know that map. Even though, as we were sitting and talking about as well, it could actually be a little bit detrimental for someone like Taz to be the in-game leader coming from a 1.6 background, train in 1.6, completely different physics, trains are different, the ladders are different, the timings are different, the smoke grenades are extremely more powerful in CSGO. So I think they're still struggling a little bit on the T side, but ultimately they did well, and Cash is nothing to say really. Snacks shut down middle, Bioli just hit his shots, as we talked about earlier, aggressive, taking one headshot, going for the next, a little bit JW style, but with rifle, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And again, on that map especially, it's all about middle. So you shut it down, the rounds just rack up.
Yeah, and something me and Duncan here was talking about as well is like, EnVyUS they stay very passive and kind of static in their T game, whereas we see someone like Pronax or Taz with Virtus.Pro even exist a little bit more improvisation, adapting to the current premises. So if it doesn't work, the standard game, they try to take the peaks, which they're extremely good at, but every now and then you have Bialy just hitting the shot, or someone like Creams just finding the angles and just like nailing you down. They need to mix it up more. I think they need to be more aggressive. They need to just smoke off middle, throw a few flashbangs, and try to hit kind of the swarms towards B using the vent area, for example. But they don't really do that often, and they just try to stick to the game. Timeout should be probably called out more often for EnVyUS.
The problem for EnVyUS is they are one of the best cash teams, actually. They can be amazing on that map, but even when they win, they play the exact same style as that. Like, what's amazing, I've said this previously when I've done games, okay, if you ever watch them play, don't even think about B. They just go A all the time. They buy every round, and now listen, they can make it work somehow against most teams, but the problem is their style is so based on just 1v1 duels. Like, the first guy coming in is just looking for someone, and all he's thinking about is try and find like a favorable angle to get this kill onto this guy. And so when it fails, instead of thinking like, okay, maybe we need to set it up with a different smoke there, or maybe we need to go B a couple of times just to set up A again, so they have to maybe not have an extra man rotated.
How about faking a bomb spot maybe at
They
some
don't do
point?
that.
Yeah.
Instead, they just keep thinking, right, we'll go to the site again, but this time it's because that guy shot me from that spot, so I'll check there first, you know? It's actually a very simplistic way of thinking about the game, and I think the fact they have such tremendous talent in their team, that when they're motivated, they can get away with this, and they can kind of brute force it, you know? But the whole concept of brute forcing it is that that's not actually going to work when you're in a situation where people aren't hitting shots, people aren't confident, people aren't actually backing each other up. Like, we saw there was a round there where they smoked off the site, bomb carrier went in by himself to the bomb spot, died at the bomb spot, and no one else had come out of the lobby area even. Like, that can't happen. Like, the whole point is, if he's coming into the bomb spot, someone has to be distracting here or causing a firefight with the guy who's about to take him on, you know? Even if you're going to play that individualistic style, there has to be more team-orientated. Whereas at the moment, it was like individuals who tried to take over an area of the map by themselves. Like, I always go here and kill this guy, I go here and kill this guy, which can work, but when you're playing the best teams in the world, like Virtus.Pro, for example, you can see how that can actually bite you in the ass, basically.
Yeah, and again, EnVyUS is done. That was their last match, so now they just sit and wait. And again,
I also do feel
start
like
doing the math, right, of the rounds.
If that had been an elimination game for EnVyUS, I think they would have played a bit differently also. I think they took it a bit for granted, kind of like, okay, well, we aren't out even if we lose this. Like, you could see from their attitude at the end there, they didn't seem like super crushed that they lost, because they know, okay, we've got really good round difference, whatever. It's not certain we're out yet, so... Yeah, it felt
and we have
like
Virtus.Pro playing Immunity, who has zero incentives to play.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically, yeah.
All right, we're going to come back and talk about it more, but right now we've got James and the one and only Taz. Take it away, James.
Thank you, Scoots. I am joined by Taz, a man who is hiding his face behind his very, very awesome cap there. Now, first thing I want to ask you, Taz, he's just staring blankly at this camera right now. Are you with me, Taz? You are there. Yeah. Always fun with you. First thing I want to ask is, you guys must be feeling much more comfortable in the booths right now after last time.
It's good to not be almost eliminated. Like, we knew that we can give away like a very small amount of rounds. So after we lost like 9th round, we felt like, fuck, like it's not cool. It's not cool. So when we only had like 5 rounds as T-side and we had some arguments and stuff like that, we didn't play how we wanted. We played some really bad things, and I called some bad. I missed a smoke in a tactic which I made like 2 times, so this was pretty bollocks. But overall, when we played cash and suddenly we just started to hit our shots and we just crushed them 12-3 as CT, it felt like, okay, if we are not going to win this, then I don't know, we can just go home and not play against Immunity.
Well, you guys also, like, getting 11 rounds in a row against them after that was absolutely phenomenal. Huge game there. But do you feel at all like EnVyUS were maybe holding back some of their strats?
I think that they have nothing on train, and I feel that they have nothing on cobblestone. So for them, it was just thinking that if they beat us on train in internet, on ESL Pro League, that they will probably have a better shot on train than on cobblestone. So I think it just only came down to this.
Now, on train, obviously, you guys performed fantastically. Have you guys got this maybe sorted and figured out a little bit earlier than the other teams, or are you guys just practicing a bit more, do you think?
I think that every one of us likes train. Like, we always enjoyed train in 1.6. We enjoyed train no matter what kind of train it was in CSGO. And this train is just, I don't know, maybe the colors are right for us. We just feel comfortable. Our eyes are relaxed on it. I don't know, but we just love to play train. And we didn't do like a lot on it. We have like a couple of strats, but mostly like this game, we had success playing like only standard and just trying to pick them, going like whatever you want, you can try to do, because nothing worked against them, it felt like. So yeah, we just like to play train, enjoy it, and it feels good that it's instead of nuke.
Well, you've beaten the team that's obviously gone 2-0 to everyone else so far, so the first team to upset them, but you're not out of the fire yet. You're still in a bit of the danger zone. What's the game plan now? Because you guys played such a fantastic set of games there. Are you just trying to take that momentum and confidence into the next games?
We just need to stay focused and do not underestimate Immunity. I feel like they can still be a dangerous team, even though they lost a couple games. Now they have like zero pressure on them. They'll play for fun, so they can do some crazy stuff like rush or play very, I don't know, something awkward. So we need to stay on our toes and just secure the spot.
Now people know about how you guys are playing on train. Do you think that's going to be vetoed out a lot, and will that affect your kind of game plan for the future games?
I mean, before we played against Titan today, and we played like total shit, and I still feel like the smell on me of this game. So yeah. So it feels like before the game we thought that it's very hard to veto against us, because we have train, we have cobblestone, we have mirage and overpass, and we play pretty decent cache as it seems now. So we have 5 maps and we can veto 2. So I felt that in group stage it's like our group to lose. But after Titan game, I mean, I feel like it's a bit easier for some teams. They might try to play mirage, or they might try to pick cobblestone against us. So I just hope it was like one game which we just weren't prepared enough mentally, and that we will continue to playing good, because I really feel that the maps are really good for us and fits us very well.
Brilliant. Well, it's always a pleasure talking to you, Taz. Lots of fun as well. And we will send it straight back to Scoots on the desk, and best of luck for the rest of your games.
Did he say that maybe train is more relaxing for their eyes?
Well, and I was going to ask Karin, when you played, did you have maps that like you were visually more comfortable, you felt more at home on? I'm not trying to troll.
And if we weren't, I guess we just tune up the digital vibrance. I don't know. I think it didn't really mean.
Like I imagine
he was just saying that he was, or they are,
when
generally
Taz
quite
to
comfortable
relax,
on it.
he imagines himself on a hammock at like the back of a train, like do 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 do.
Yeah, and all bets are off.
The
If
sun
Taz
going
can swear,
down.
I can swear. That's the new rule, I think. You know.
He did it like 50 times there. Cheers, Taz.
Again,
sponsors love that.
You know, like I said, EnVyUS is done. Virtus.Pro does have one more match against Immunity. Like you talked about, they could be the spoiler, nothing to lose, and like they need those 3 points to tie EnVyUS to get to 9-9. So you know,
another thing we have to think about here, due to the uneven amount of teams in the groups, you will not have that kind of thing having World Cup of football or any other sports, I guess, where the deciding map, the third or whatever it is played at the same time. Now they can just, you know, by easy mathematics, see how many rounds do we have to get ahead of Titan or get ahead of EnVyUS, and okay, cool, but that actually has a big impact.
Gives you an advantage
over
the
because
team that has already played.
Then they might, force buy at the point where they understand they need to force buy and so forth. But nevertheless, that is, in my world at least, a 2-0 in favor of Virtus.Pro, needless to say. I'm not sure what happened in the other match here, Titan, how they look round-wise. Yeah, it's coming up now, actually. True.
Yeah, and that's going to be Cloud9.
Yeah, but EnVyUS is obviously going to be a little bit nervous, I suppose, in case they, at least, which they are, aiming to be the first in the group, because that might fall apart now.
But remember, things can still happen without EnVyUS having to play. Like, for example, say a miracle happens and immediately you win a map. Well, there we go. That helps them immediately. There's all sorts of things can still happen.
Probably more likely Cloud9 goes and win a game against
that can still happen too.
Titan, yeah.
So there's a bunch of permutations that have to happen before they even get to the three-way tie, you know. So they're just going to sit back and watch and maybe laugh like Happy did.
Yeah, but going back to Train quickly, we talked about this during the game. Taz and Neo and these guys are, just their kind of T style is like, either you go all in or you play it passively, but when you do go all in, that's the same for all players. And very few teams in the history of Counter-Strike kind of has that, I don't know if it's a law or at least some kind of rule that they're pushing for. You know, it's a bit like, let's say 60 years ago when you joined the army, if you didn't get in, it was like a big failure. That's kind of thing they have with rushes. Train is a great example of that. Throwing down the smokes, the flashbangs, that's the time when you need to attack. If someone just play hesitant, then you make it easy for the opponent to rotate. You might start to plant and no one is covering you.
But
they're really good at that.
That's exactly what EnVyUS did on Cash. They would throw the smoke, start to go, then when it became unfavorable, the first guy died, or I don't know where this guy's shooting from, then they just stop, slow down. Whereas the whole point is, what you're trying to do is overwhelm them before they have the defense. So.
Yeah, the swarm, the Polish swarm in this case. So that's something they're really good at. Obviously, they only got 5 rounds, including the pistol round. So, but again, it's a lot of trial and error at this point on a map like Train. Because surely there are similarities, but as we addressed earlier, there are a lot of differences as well in terms of which kind of flashbangs you can throw. For example, like over Pop Dog, you can just break the window and throw out a few smoke grenades, which makes me believe in, let's say, 6 months ahead, we're going to see a lot of innovation and a lot of interesting matchups. So far, it's kind of like blurry experience in the sense that, okay, it's great to see headshots, you see some interesting pistol rounds, but strategically, it's kind of like messy, you know, it's not that interesting right now.
I think Train is going to be an interesting factor for Virtus.Pro, assuming they get out of this group stage, though, because that adds in a kind of a wild card where, of the top teams, not many of them actually can say that they favor Train, and apparently Virtus.Pro like it, because the thing with Virtus.Pro is they already had a slight edge on the map pool because they really like Cobblestone, and so few teams do, so already people had to ban it against them. But now, if the Train's out there as well and you're worried about that, there's 2 maps already you have to ban, and that's before they get to the maps they play anyway. Mirage, Cash, so they've actually, compared to what they had before, one of the reasons why they had a hard time winning tournaments previously is in a tournament that featured NIP, EnVyUS, Fnatic, a bunch of these teams could get onto maps and beat the Virtus.Pro guys on maps that they're very strong on. But as now there's a couple of outside maps that against different opponents, they can maybe have an edge. Like EnVyUS don't want to play them on Cobblestone, but they also now don't want to play them on Train. So going forwards, I want to see if that's a factor later in the tournament, if they meet someone in a semi-final or in the final, you know.
Okay, we're going to let you go. I want you to get over to the other stage. Your team is playing the
second map,
And just give you an update if you can't see the screen. 4-5 on Cash. And,
which is the second map of the winning
second
16-4.
Map, you won the first one 16-4, right? And you're down by 1, 5-4, Liquid's favor right now. So plenty of time. And again, your team is also in this, like, doing the mathematical bubble.
Yeah.
You're sitting at 5 points. You've got 6 now because of the first win. But again, right behind you is Nip with 5, Vox with 5. They're kind of done, and then Navi's got 4, but Nip and Navi play one more game, so that could go either way with those points. Yeah. So I'm going to let you go. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, our next match is Titan and Cloud9 right here. The next match after on the Challenger stage, again, it's going on right now, Fnatic and Team Liquid will then be Virtus.Pro and Immunity, so that'll be that last match over in the other theater. Thank you very much, Karn. Appreciate you stopping by.
Pleasure being here. Thanks.
Always nice seeing you. Thank you as always, and we'll be right back after this break.
I'm on it.
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 I'm on it.